Woke up, checked the charts, felt like a king. Portfolio screaming, my phone doesn't ring. By the dip they said, but the floor disappeared. Now I'm stuck in a trade that could last me a year. Every candle's a lie, every wick is a joke. I leverage too hard, now I'm breathing in smoke. The market's my dealer, I'm hooked on the pain. They give it, they take it, then laughs in my name. I catch the knife, I call it fate. I bet the farm, they liquidate. My broker laughs, my screen turns red. My wife just packed her bags instead. I hedge my risk, it breaks my knees. I short the top, it rips with ease. I catch the knife, I call it fate. I bet the farm, they liquidate. Put my faith in a Twitter thread, 100x long, now my cash is dead. My stop loss didn't set one, bro. Now I live in my car with a monitor glow. Every candle's a lie, every wick is a joke. I leverage too hard, now I'm breathing in smoke. The algo's a demon, it hunts where I trade. I click on the bid and my soul gets erased. I catch the knife, I call it fate. I bet the farm, they liquidate. My broker laughs, my screen turns red. My wife just packed her bags instead. I hedge my risk, it breaks my knees. I short the top, it rips with ease. I catch the knife, I call it fate. I bet the farm, they liquidate. My puts got burned, took out a loan, now my lesson is learned. I paper hand once, it triples in price. I diamond hand hard, it flatlines. Nice. So I scout for scraps, I dream of gains, but the market just laughs while I go insane. One more play, just one more round, and if I lose, I'll double down.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother.
Howdy doodly diddly. Hope you guys are ready for takeoff today, because if this inflation report comes in a wee bit cool, we are going up and up and up. Now, did the market call me up early this morning and tell me what was going to go down? I can't really disclose that information, but let's just put it this way. Your boy's currently tilted long on some calls right now. So we are currently betting the house. We're betting the farm. We're betting the wife's present allocation that we are in fact going up and up and up. And we're going to be finding out the fate of my financial future in about 7 minutes. So not only do we have the inflation report coming out, but we're going to be getting our boy Rick Santilli giving us that breakdown. Obviously, probably the best talking head in the world of mainstream financial media. But folks, as you could tell, we have on the lucky hat. We have on the lucky buffalo shirt. It is impossible for today to go against us. Literally, mathematically, scientifically, spiritually, religiously, metaphysically, it does not matter. Today cannot go against us. We have too many positive things. We already tilted the entire account. Rick's talking, lucky hat, lucky shirt. I got to hang out with Piper this morning. I've already had 18 shots of espresso. What could go wrong? Nothing. That's the answer. So folks, I hope you are ready. I also really hope you watched the recap video from last night, because I broke down all the stats, facts, odds, and figures of today. So make sure you're watching those daily recap videos. They're posted both on Rumble and YouTube. But basically, I went through all the numbers, and the numbers surmised to one thing. There's no guarantee, but the odds do favor the bulls in terms of the market's reaction to this CPI report. Like I said, if you want to know how I came up with that, if you want the exact numbers, go watch that video. But that's what you need to know. That is 100% what you need to know. We are a couple minutes out. So before we get rocking, I'm going to obviously show you the market. We're going to listen to the CPI report. We're going to listen to basically the lamestream media of whoever they bring on to CNBC. Then we have some overall government drama news. Then we have some overall economy news. Then we have some individual equity news, because do not forget, we are starting earnings season. So yes, today we're going to be getting that very, very pivotal, important inflation report that, fingers crossed, sends the market sky high. But don't forget, also, we're hearing from a bunch of giant financial players this morning. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, Goldman Sachs. There's a whole slew of them, and it's just going to keep going. So we really got underway with earnings season today, and it's going to be continuing for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So next week is when we start to hear from some of the tech ones, and then the week after is where it gets really exciting. But today we have the CPI report. Tomorrow we have retail sales. Friday is the largest options expiration that we've had in a while. The market is closed on Monday in observation of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Also, that's going to be Trump's inauguration. So then the market restarts next week. That's not only the continuation of earnings season, but obviously it's going to be a shortened week. So we have a ton to do, an absolute ton to do. Now, folks, I'm going to ask you this. I don't mean this figuratively. I mean this very, very, realistically. Do I have stops? Ernie just asked me if I have stops. Ernie, you might as well ask me if I'm a pussy. Do I have stops? What? Have you ever been here before, Ernie? Do I have stops? Why would I have stops? Do I just want the world to know that I'm a giant loser with no backbone? Do I have stops? Ernie, grow up. Go take that to someone else's very realistic approach to the market show. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to engage with the market in a realistic risk to reward, man. That's so silly. Do you have a degree from Silly Goose University? What's going on, man? That's crazy. Anyway, let me know if you're bullish or bearish. I'm not going to let Ernie knock me off my game this early in the day. So, folks, come on, Ernie. Crazy. Loco. He's loco, if I do say so myself. Let me switch this up over here. You can see SPY currently in pre-market trading halfway through 584, up about 0.4%. The Qs are also up about 0.4%, trading just below 507. So obviously the SPY is a bit closer to the high from yesterday, which I would interpret to be a nice bullish structure change, going from bearish to bullish in the shortest of terms. Obviously tech is a little bit farther away. You have small cap sector that was above the high, but kind of fading back, currently up 0.3%. And then obviously a little bit later in the show, after the CPI report, we are going to be covering what in the world is going on with JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, Goldman Sachs. We're going to be going over the financial sector. So we have a lot to chit chat about. I wish you guys luck. When it comes to big events like this, you're pretty much flipping a coin. Yeah, you could do some fancy schmancy modeling in the past to try to give yourself a certain edge, but nothing's ever guaranteed. Folks, there's a reason why this is the world's largest casino, because as soon as the die are in the air, we're just letting her rip. We are just letting her rip. So I wish you guys the best of luck. I decided to not sleep at all last night, and I decided to revise a new version of Skynet. So right here, strategy, ST. So today, an aspect of the show is going to be Matt, who's this guy, the host of today's show, versus Skynet. So I'll be trading some accounts. We're going to have Skynet trading some other accounts, and we're going to see who's going to end up winning. It's not on yet. It's not really going to turn on until market open, but we're going to see. Or should I just let it rip? No, I shouldn't. That would be dangerous. That would be really, really dangerous if I did that. So I don't have it turned on yet, but I will be turning that on. So we're going to be playing with Skynet. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. Let's go over to the SPY right now. Let's go to the 15-second. Let's get ready. We are 30 seconds out. Let's make sure our boy Rick is all fired up. I don't want to miss our boy Rick right here. We are not live.
Today we'll see where things stand, because producer prices don't necessarily indicate what you will see with consumer prices. But again, a lot riding on this number and the Fed's expectation of what it will do.
Get ready.
As a result.
Get
Rick Santelli is
ready.
standing by at the CME in Chicago. And Rick, we've got about 20 seconds before we get these numbers, but a lot riding on
Boom! Holy crap, Batman.
And yesterday we did
Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to the fucking moon. Pack your bags, folks. Big pop, 580, 450, all the way up to 588, 50. We jumped by 4 buckaroos. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going.
Consumer price
fucking, I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it. Guys, I told you. I put the video out there. I predicted it. I am the market oracle. I see days into the market's future. I go there. I get the info. I bring it back for you. And you guys are still confused when I do it day in and day out. Every single day, you're still confused.
1/10 cooler than the rear view mirror, up 2/10. How does that comp? We equal July of 24. Find a lower number. You go back to June of 24. Year-over-year numbers. Here
fucking
we go.
disgusting.
On the headline year-over-year, up 2.9. As expected,
here's our boy Rick.
Green. How much more important green to the fact that it's 2/10 higher than our last look, which was 2.7. To find a number higher than 2.9, you're going to June of last year. And finally, on the year-over-year core, it's 3.2%. 1/10 lighter than the rear view mirror, 1/10 lighter than expectations. But, 3.2.
X-Food, X-Energy, month-over-month, 0.2 versus 0.3.
Now,
cool.
That equals August. To find a lower number, you're really going in the way back machine. You have to find a 3% number, and that's all the way back in April of 21.
Boy.
Now, many don't look at the indices.
Folks,
I look at the indices.
Future's looking pretty
really
bright.
Says it all. Okay, if you look at the CPI index, started in 1913, it now is 315.605. 315.605. That's the second highest number ever. The highest, the record, was October of 24. If you look at this, pretty much every month we make new all-time highs. So it's nice that we pulled back just a smidge. And if we look at the year-over-year,
what a pop.
core,
what
all the way back
pop,
to 1957, 323.38. That is a new all-time high. What does that tell me? We could look at these numbers based on expectations like we do, but the reality is, even yesterday, if you looked at some of these smaller month-over-month numbers, it just means that the inflation rate is growing more slowly. It isn't going in reverse, and that's what these indices tell us, that virtually anybody out there watching that isn't an economist, they feel the pressure of rising prices. And it's a pressure that very much never seems to ease off. We don't
next stop
see
590
negative numbers.
After that 593
numbers, there's one I haven't pointed out yet.
Q's,
Empire was also out. January number kind of real time, minus 12.6.
After that 517.50.
Minus 12.6 would be the weakest, going back to minus 15 and change in May of last year. So we still see that manufacturing is a bit curtailed. Interest rates moving significantly lower here, significantly lower.
Interest
Maybe
rates
it was
dropping.
the month-over-month core. Maybe it's the fact that we came in as or a little light on expectations. What the
action coming in at 5925 calls right here for SPX. Action at the 5925 strike.
As we get closer to the opening of equity,
5,900 as well for the open interest change. Big node of calls coming in the mid or lower to mid 5,900s.
Basis above 480 in a 10.
Huge spike there.
We touched 5% yesterday, briefly in a 30, and the dollar index. Well,
expecting a 48 move, 48-point move today.
It was at a 26-month high close. Becky, back to you.
We're skipping up back into positive
there.
gamma.
A lot of analysis. We need more from you, but we also want to bring in the rest of our panel. Priya Misra,
all right,
who
let's
is
see what
fixed
they have to
income
say.
portfolio manager at JP Morgan Asset Management. Our very own senior economics reporter, Steve Leisman, and Peter Bookvar, who is chief investment officer at Bleakley Advisory Group, also a CNBC contributor. Steve, why don't you walk us through what you are seeing as you dig down into these numbers?
Well, it's a good number. I think it's important. Actually, Rick was using a different consensus, 0.4. We had 0.3 from the Dow Jones consensus. I'm not sure which one Rick is using.
On the headline, month over month.
On the headline. Yeah. But the important thing is we both agree the core was lower than
the core's coming in cool.
0.2.
Cool is bullish.
Okay.
Inflation is less than
like
expected.
I said earlier in the last hour, the PPI downside surprise took some of the edge off an upside surprise today, and I think that came to pass.
Holy
big number, the
fuck.
number that both of our guests asked before right away was the owner's equivalent
Bitcoin
rate number. That was up
ripping.
0.3. We were doing 0.5, 0.6s.
Tesla popping
there.
$12.
Now it's
NVIDIA
more contained, a 0.3
popping
after
$3.
You did have
Meta
apparel
popping
was
6.
well contained.
Palantir ripping 2.
Used cars up
Coin
1.5%.
ripping 10.
That helped it, but
Rumble even going. Look at it. Everything's going up.
Services, less energy.
Everything
was
is
up
fucking pushing.
0.3%.
Pushing,
Not
pushing,
terrific. You need to
pushing.
do 0.2s to get to 2%. But Becky,
Even
we'll take
quantum
it.
stocks
It's a
are
good
somehow
number.
catching
You
a
can
bid.
see how concerned
Bonds
the
are
market
finally
has been
showing life.
with this possibility
Even
that
gold
inflation
and
was gonna
oil
get
are
out of
up.
control. So this now sort of says, all right,
Solana's
the Fed can be
up.
on hold,
Ripple's
but we don't
up.
Talk about this thing that Joe
What a
likes to talk
day.
about, which is
What a
you know,
day.
The idea of hiking rates.
We're now looking at the 10-year falling below 4.7%, 4.69%.
And while you talk to the other guests, I'll update the probabilities on what the outlook is for the Fed and how that's changed.
Tesla's up
I can do math.
3.8% on this.
Look, the Dow's now indicated to go open up 600 points, but that's going tick by tick.
Why do they
with
follow the
Treasuries who
Dow? The
focus
Dow
on,
sucks
the,
ass.
Treasuries market on fixed income. What do you think of what we just heard? Is this the right reaction based on these numbers?
Absolutely. I think we were in the danger zone. As the 10-year got closer to 4.75, 5%, I think it's a danger zone for the economy because there are interest-sensitive sectors. Look at the mortgage market or the housing market. Look at other interest-sensitive sectors. We're also in the danger zone for risk assets because, you know,
We're in
cost
the
of capital
danger
that
zone,
high, you're
baby.
going to get more dispersion. You're going to have impact on multiples. I think this is a good number. It's a sigh of relief for the bond market as well as the equity market.
Fucking
risk
let's
assets
send
in
it, brother.
general, because it takes that Fed hike. I think, you know, we priced out a lot of the Fed cuts in the last few months. And now there was talk, well, if inflation's moving up and you get, the big question still remains, what are we going to get from the administration? I would argue there's a market constraint, there's a political constraint.
It's so, I don't know why they talk like that. Why does all financial media, is it like in their contracts that whenever they discuss something, they also have to actually lull you into a coma, excuse me. Sorry, it's probably because I haven't had my 20th shot of espresso, and that's when I really start speaking a little fast. So anyway, like I just don't, dude, you're the star of the show of the world's largest casino, and you're showing up to set like you hate life, brother. You know what the issue is here? Why they all talk like this, why they all look like this, is because they're not degenerately betting their own account. This is the kind of subdued emotional reaction you get when you are betting nothing or you're betting someone else's money and it doesn't like really directly impact you. I guarantee you, if they had someone on the show, maybe a dashingly young, handsome man in a buffalo shirt with really cool headwear, and they were betting their entire account on something, you'd have a bit of a better reaction than, the economy is no longer concerned and we're taking a little bit of uncertainty out of the system, so the market is improving mildly. Fuck no, dude. That would never happen. You would be fucking punting the guy on the set who's been talking shit on your position all night. You'd be fist fighting him. You'd be telling him to suck it because you just ripped your account to another level. I don't get it. This has been a pet peeve of mine more so recently, but honestly, ever since I tried to learn about finance. Why do they make it so boring all the time? All of the time. No, you know what you need to do? You need to get people on the show that took their entire account and bet it on calls, and you say, let's see how it goes. That's what you do. You have someone leverage their entire futures account just to rip it higher. Give the people what they want. We want action. We don't want some reasonable analysis. And well, hang on, by the time you take out food and energy, you actually realize that the month over month is a 0.1% less than expected. This is taking pressure off the monetary policy decisions made by Jerome Powell in the upcoming FOMC meetings. But don't forget, we still have to consider tariffs. No, make it fucking fun. Inflation's coming down. Trump's about to buy Greenland. We're going to the Panama Canal. Make it interesting, people. Dude, look at, and they're showing up in ties. I bet that's not even his lucky tie. Dare I say it? And I don't know. I'm just throwing out conjectures here. But I bet these motherfuckers showed up to set today and they're not even wearing their lucky tie. Folks, all day, All day. I was getting ready for this. This bad boy, I brought this to the dry cleaners. I got this dry cleaned. I got this pressed. This was hanging up in a closet by itself, and I was just watching it from a distance for at least 72 plus hours because I knew today was gonna be the big day. I knew I had to show up for you guys. I knew I had to put the market on my back because I care. That's the issue, is their heart's not in this. He picked out a fucking blue tie because his wife told him it matched his suit. He wasn't admiring his lucky Buffalo shirt from the 1980s for days, getting ready to rip it. Dude, blows my mind. Anyway, I digress. All you need to know is I am once again the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. I punted my account long. I bought calls because I have a nutsack the size of Grand Canyon, and I'm as smart as Einstein. If you imagine mixing Michael Jordan and Stephen Hawking, as if Stephen Hawking could walk, and then I just have the ability of Michael Jordan. That's me. My mom and dad are Stephen Hawking and Michael Jordan, and then I just happen to be excelling in the world of trading. I am the casino. I am the pit boss. I am the candles going up and down. This stuff's too easy for me. It's honestly too easy for me. Anyway, Dow futures surge 500 points after encouraging inflation report. Strong banking earnings. Even this, so boring. Dow futures surge 500 points after encouraging inflation report. Strong banking earnings. If I was the CNBC intern, you know what I would do? Bears wake up to an absolutely fucked situation. Stay tuned. Dude, just make it fun. Anyway, there are some other things we talk about besides the fact that I'm printing money out of thin air. In terms of global political news, South Korea finally arrests its president, deepening turmoil. We kind of covered this news, and it was crazy because for about 6 hours, they had martial law, and then they tried to basically impeach their president, and then that didn't pull off, and then there was a little bit of a mini coup. Anyway, South Korea is as crazy as the U.S. is. Speaking about the crazy U.S., LA faces high winds and no sign of rain after a week of flames. So unfortunately, the weather, I guess Mother Nature is not really breaking in the favor of the Los Angelians? What's the name for people in Los Angeles? Los Angelinos? I think it's Angelinos. I believe. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyway, the Los Angelinos, they're in a really bad situation, and the weather's picking up. I'm reading it. Some of the flames are being contained, which is good, but then there's other ones that have only 10% containment. So it's still a whole messed up thing. As we're seeing this happen, I almost spit out my coffee this morning. Gavin Newsom, the governor of Los Angeles, the dude's losing his mind. I say this seemingly every single day right now, and I'm going to repeat it to you guys again. I don't know how he's continually elected. I get that it's a very blue state. I don't understand how there isn't another left-leaning liberal Democrat representation just to be better than him. But anyway, he's just losing his mind on live TV.
I get it. They want to take us. I get it. I'm not naive. I get the California derangement syndrome. I've been living with that for years and years. New scum. The same 7th grade. I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum. I was in 7th grade. I can handle that. We'll leave that aside. I understand what they're trying to do.
Pause. Question. If someone's calling you new scum, obviously a rip on his last name of Newsom, new scum, and you're recalling this event from 7th grade when you are a middle-aged man, the governor of one of the largest states in the U.S., and you're saying, I can handle that. I kind of call baloney on if you can actually handle it. I'm like, I don't know about that. I really don't know if you and your therapist have quite figured that one out. If on main, he's on mainstream media talking about a name that he was called in 7th grade, which he's now being called once again during one of the most horrific events to ever happen to the state of California. And he's like, I'm over it. It totally doesn't bother me anymore.
Remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum? I was in 7th grade. I can handle that. We'll leave that aside. I understand what they're trying to do. I want to work with them. It's not about me. It's about people that we both represent. He represents and I represent. And I'm honored and proud to represent these folks. And I desperately plead with them. Come out here. Help us. And we will help you. You'll be elevated, Mr. President. At the end of the day, you'll be the one we all will go to and say, thank you. Thank you, sir. I get it. They want to.
Totally 100% does not bother me. It does. I'm not bothered by it. If you call me that name, I won't even care anymore. I don't care. You could call it. I'm totally over it. Jesus. As you might surprise, our government is as inept as ever. Budget deficit rose in December and is now 40% higher than it was a year ago. So you got to laugh at this situation, because if you don't, you realize that wait, can we say retard again? Or do we have to wait for the 20th? Because this might change the upcoming segment that I have. Can we say retard now, or do I have to wait till Monday? And just to clarify, if there's any Karens in the audience, I'm not saying retard. I'm asking if I can say retard or if I have to wait. Once again, it is pivotal for the upcoming segment. So I'm just kind of curious. I'll wait till Monday if I have to. If there's still like a moratorium on the word at this moment. Yes, I never stopped. Dude, honestly, you know what's crazy about New York? Long Island never got the message. Truly. Like, if you talk to anyone in Long Island, not as like, they don't mean it comedically. Like, it is truly confusing to them. They're like, wait, people stop saying retard? Like, I swear, it's the most fascinating vernacular development probably of my adult life. If you talk to anyone in Long Island, at their core, the core of their being, they don't know that people stopped using the word retard. Like, really, they're like, what are you talking about? Their response is like, that's retarded. Like, it's crazy. If you have time, if you're not doing anything this weekend, take a quick trip to Long Island, interview the locals, and they will tell you. They'll be like, dude, what do you mean people stop saying it? They use it as a filler word in every other word in their sentence. Retard is more politically correct. I don't know. I'm getting some mixed messages here. If I have to wait till Monday, I'll wait till Monday, but I am excited that it's coming back. It reminds me of my heydays in the middle school and elementary school recess. So I'm pretty stoked that we're ripping it again. All right, let's bring it to the market. Let's bring it to the world's largest casino. So today, Wednesday, January 15th, you could see CPI, and crude oil inventories. That comes out at 10:30 for any energy traders. But let's talk about inflation. Core inflation rate slows to 3.2% in December, less than expected. Depending on who you talk with, some expected 3.3, some larger targets were 3.4. Regardless, it doesn't matter, 3.3, 3.4. We came in below it. When you have inflation less than expected, especially when there's concern about are we getting Fed fund cuts or are they going to jack it up, this is good news. Less inflation means that maybe Jerome Powell, the guy who has his finger right on top of the money printer, maybe he's not going to have to be so extreme in his hawkish stance. Obviously, the market interpreted it exactly that way because the SPY is now up 1.6%. The Qs are up 1.9%. Bitcoin's up 2.5%. You have Tesla up 3.8%. The small cap sector is up an incredible 3%. Things are rippity skippity doodah, folks. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I made a whole video on it. I broke it down last night. The video was posted at like 5 p.m. You had a ton of time to prep, and I hope you crushed it. I know a lot of you are making money, and hopefully there is more to come. Other positive news out of our neighbors across the pond, the UK inflation unexpectedly cools to 2.5%. Core price print slows further. So inflation in a magnitude reading is not good. Inflation is still too high, but on a relative basis, we're not as bad as we could be. So I'm not here saying, oh, all of a sudden, like prices are coming down. No, inflation, this is the rate of things still increasing. Folks, prices are never coming down. What we're concerned with is the rate at which prices are increasing. So I think that's one common thing that we see, especially in mainstream media when they're talking about inflation of like, hey, we're done, bring prices down. Prices never go down. This is just, we're in a car, we're driving in the wrong way. It's the speed at which we're driving in the wrong way. So when you see inflation drop, that's just the rate at increase. So we're just increasing at less of a velocity. Prices are still going up. And I'm telling you this, they're not going to be going down, folks. That's really not how things work in a forever expanding credit system. Also with individual equities, like I said, JP Morgan, Citi, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs all reporting this morning. You have JP Morgan Chase tops estimates on better than expected fixed income and investment banking results. They beat on earnings per share. They also beat on revenue. As you would expect, they are up pretty nicely in pre-market trading, up about 1.6%. So it popped, came down, popping again, obviously, after the inflation report. Up next, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo shares jump after earnings beat, strong 2025 guidance. So WFC, Wells Fargo, currently up 4.8%. Obviously, another major bank. You're starting to see a particular pattern here, I hope. Goldman Sachs tops estimates on strong trading results. So if you look at Goldman Sachs, GS currently up 3.8%, close out at 571, currently slated to open at 593, 594. So Goldman Sachs looking pretty good. BlackRock assets hit record 11.6 trillion. No, I did not stutter. No, I do not have a lisp. I did not say million or billion. I said trillion. BlackRock assets hit record 11.6 trillion in fourth quarter in 2024. I believe they are BLK, but let's see if I got that right. Yep, up 5% currently in pre-market trading. And that means we have one left. Citi, ticker symbol C, currently up 5.4%. So we started off this earnings season obviously pretty strong with a specific emphasis on the financial sector. You can check the financial subsector of the S&P 500 by looking at XLF. XLF is the financial subsector of the overall S&P 500, and it is up beautifully this morning, up 2.3%. Obviously closing out at 48, slated to open up in the mid 49, so looking pretty strong. But the major banks, the other big one that we have to still hear from, there's four major banks. There's many more, but there's four big ones. The other one we have to hear from, and we're going to hear from them tomorrow morning, is Bank of America. So that's coming down tomorrow. So we got all of these today, looking pretty good. We're going to hear from the semiconductor industry, a little bit of an update. TSMC, remember the fabricator. We have a health insurance update tomorrow. United Health Group, the biggest health insurance player in the U.S. That's also the one that I'm pretty sure that's the one that Thompson, what was his name? Brian Thompson got unalived here in Manhattan from that Luigi dude. Bank of America's tomorrow, Morgan Stanley's tomorrow, PNC's tomorrow, M&T Bank, but the big one's going to be Morgan Stanley, but mainly Bank of America. And I'm going to care quite a bit about TSMC. Later on this week, if you're an energy trader, SLB's on Friday, and then the real action is going to get going next week with respect to tech plays. U.S. aims to tighten flow of TSMC and Samsung chips to China. So we see recently that the Biden administration is having a bit more of a kind of a, I don't know, it's almost like a tech Cold War is currently going on between the US and China and what's going on with these semiconductors. So like that's going to be worthwhile to pay attention to. I'm going to be listening to see if there's any commentary from TSMC on if they believe the Biden administration updates are going to, like, how big of a negative impact is this going to be truly. So this is a useful clip.
Peter, it seems as if it's sort of like the last pull of the noose around China in these closing days of the Biden administration. What are they now targeting? What's the advice to the chip makers? And is the onus of responsibility on self-policing sort of in a new way?
Yeah, it's almost hard to keep track of how many regulations the U.S. government is coming out with in the last days of the Biden administration. We've had some of these new rules almost every day now. The latest round of restrictions from the Biden administration targets TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, really the most important producer of semiconductors in the world, along with Samsung and Intel. These are the companies that make chips for a bunch of other companies. TSMC makes them for Apple, for example, for the iPhone, and also for NVIDIA for their GPUs. But they also make a lot of chips for Chinese customers. They have in the past, and before U.S. government restrictions, they made them for Huawei and some other companies too. What they are now trying to do is tighten that ability to make chips for Chinese customers because, as you referenced, they found out that one of the chips TSMC had made, or one kind of chip that they had made, ended up in Huawei's AI servers. That's exactly the kind of shipment that the U.S. government is trying to stop as they try to hold back China's progress in AI in particular. And so they're trying to add some additional rules here. And now the presumption is going to be that these foundries, especially TSMC, cannot ship to Chinese customers without the approval of the U.S. government. In the past, the assumption has been they can unless the U.S. government blocks it. So it's an additional kind of restriction at this point. They're trying to tighten things up. But again, this is just days before the Trump administration takes over from the Biden administration. So it's not clear exactly how this is going to be implemented.
So obviously with semiconductors, incredibly important because it's led quite a bit of the upward stock movement over the past year and a half. Obviously, we know that there's political tensions between the U.S. and China, and we also know that we're currently in the middle of a obvious political shift from Biden administration to Trump administration. This is something definitely worthwhile to pay attention to. Meta announces a 5% cut in preparation for intense year, and they have the internal memo here on CNBC if you want to read it. So quite a few changes. They swear they're not doing this because of the new administration. They swear that this was just a normal corporate pivot anyway, but we obviously know that Meta was kind of waiting to see who won the presidency, and then as soon as it was Trump, it basically yeeted DEI off a cliff, donated over $1 million to the Trump inauguration fund. I just read yesterday that Zuckerberg and other tech moguls will be sitting like kind of right by Trump as he is inaugurated. We know what's going on. I think we can all see that it's pretty freaking evident. But anyway, that they are doing some cuts. Worthwhile to call that out. Microsoft pauses hiring in the U.S. consulting unit as part of a cost-cutting plan. So I just thought it was a little bit interesting that we saw some of these tech companies saying, hey, we're not doing a huge cut, but we are doing a little bit of something. SEC sues Elon Musk, alleging failure to properly disclose Twitter ownership. So in the final days of Gary Gensler's reign, I believe he has 4 or 5 days left. I forget exactly. I think it is the 20th. So he has 5 days left, including today. The SEC yesterday filed a suit against Elon Musk, alleging the billionaire violated securities law by acquiring Twitter shares at artificially low prices. In his purchases, Musk underpaid for Twitter shares by at least $150 million, according to the SEC. Obviously, Musk bought Twitter back in 2022 for $40 billion. I mean, okay, this is kind of stupid, especially with Gary Gensler, like literally about to leave, with Biden about to leave, but he underbought by $150 million. Does the SEC realize that $150 million is literally nothing to Elon? A dude's worth like what, $400 billion? This is just a stupid thing to get headlines out there about Elon. Musk accused by SEC of cheating Twitter investors out of millions. Once again, they're going for headlines, but if you think about it, it was a $44 billion deal. The dude's worth $400 billion. And I get that to us, $150 million, like it's a good headline. It sounds like a lot, but if you think about it in a proportionate aspect, it's not, dude. It's not.
The crux of the SEC argument here is that Elon Musk passed this 5% ownership threshold of Twitter back in late March 2022, and that he delayed reporting that to the public, to investors. In that time, after he passed the 5% threshold, he continued to accumulate up to $500 million worth of shares in Twitter. And the SEC says had the public, had shareholders known that, the price would have been higher. They would have gotten a better deal for selling their shares. Again, Musk's lawyer is refuting all of this. He said normally in the past, when you have these kind of missed deadlines, the fee is fairly nominal. So it remains to be seen. There is a new SEC chair coming in after the Trump administration takes office. Paul Atkins, he's been traditionally very friendly towards Wall Street and towards big businesses, and has argued against major fines on companies. So it could be a symbolic parting shot. We'll find out in the weeks ahead.
It is 100% a symbolic parting shot. I highly doubt this goes anywhere. Yesterday, I know you guys saw me go absolutely tilted on stream, so I have two positive things to tell you. In terms of, I usually trade three different accounts: a futures account, a premium selling account, and then an option swing account. I like to, in my own mind, delineate it, so I do put it in three individual accounts. When I give you guys these daily DGen reports, this is for the premium selling account. As you could see, at 10:55 in the morning, Piper fired off with a bearish 3 out of 5 confidence, which is a 1x multiple. Recommended a call credit spread, which is a bearish to neutral play. SPY and Qs fired off, recommended being below 586 and below 511. If you look at the closing price yesterday, those both hit, which means for the minimum capital requirement of $173, it returned $27. Now, in the morning, if you were watching yesterday's show, you know I went on tilt, and I went on tilt early. And in the first half of the day, I was making a lot of poor decisions. My first poor decision was actually selling puts. I did it because I had a bias about the PPI report, and I thought the market was going to go up and up and up. And even though that was a good thought, it was completely wrong, and it cost me $2.8 thousand by the time I actually got out. I sold at 110, was forced to buy back at 180. Not pretty. Then fortunately, I was able to get my head out of my ass and make a smart play, and I ended up selling calls. You can see I went big in size. I sold 70 SPX call credit spreads. I sold them for $1.01 each, which means at the end of the day, when it expired worthless, I made $7,070. By the time that nets it out, I made 4.3K, probably 4.1K after fees. The other thing I want to tell you about is the thing that I really went on tilt with was my futures account. I mean, it went crazy. By the time I left you guys, during the stream, I was down 4K on each account. I have 20 accounts, so I was down 80K. When I left you, I made half of that back. I caught one little short trade, and I cut the loss in half. Right after stream, I made another short play, and the market had a small pop. So I went back down to about 3.8, 4K per account. So back down basically to 80K. And then I got really pissed off, and I did what any good degenerate trader would do. I sized up more than I ever do and just smashed the market. Generally, I'm only trading one contract. I went short 3 contracts and just put a wild profit target super low, and it ended up hitting. I got really mad. I went short. I walked away from it. And then right when I came back, it was hitting. And I went from minus 4,000 on every account to plus 2,000. So it was a $6,000 swing. So it's literally a $120,000 swing. So I went from down, realized of an 80K loss to a gain of 40K. Like I said, 120,000. So that was yesterday. Each account is now over $75,000. Remember, all these accounts started with 50K, which means I've made $25,000 on all 20 of my accounts, which means as of yesterday's close, I am officially up $500,000. I am up $500,000, and that's not counting the 4K that I've taken out of each account. I've taken out 80K in total. So with that, if I didn't take it out, they'd all be about roughly 79. But I just want to show you that because generally I don't trade that well. So whenever I'm on a heater like this, I need to enjoy it because I know it's not going to last forever. So anyway, if you want to see some of this stuff in real time, join up with the Discord. Obviously, the first month is free. Use that promo code Goonie. You get my trades, my swing trades, my premium trades. You get the Piper signal. You get access to all the previous lectures. You get access to all the other traders in there. It's a great community, and I want to give you a free month to test it out to see if it's appropriate for you. So when you're signing up, mattkohrs.locals.com, you have to be a supporter. A membership is free. A supportership, a premium member, that's what I'm giving you for free with the promo code Goonie. As soon as you are a supporter, that's how you can get access to the Discord. As soon as you're a supporter, just click on this giant Goonie button right there to join, or go to the second pinned message and find the link to the Discord. Those are the 2 fastest ways to get in. But like I said, if you use this code Goonie, your first month's free. If you don't like it, if it's not for you for whatever reason, just cancel your account within the first month and you're never going to be charged anything anyway. I don't want anyone to feel like they got or on the hook for something they didn't really enjoy. So I'm giving you an entire month where you get full access to everything just to see if it's appropriate for you. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. I think that the service is going to pay for itself. But if for some reason you're not in agreement with that, just cancel your account and you're never going to be charged anything. All right. And also, if you being a supporter, maybe you don't have the time in your life or whatever the reason is, you still get a lot of things just for free, even as a member. So for example, every single weekend to your email inbox, I break down the previous week, tell you what to look forward to in the upcoming week. I give you all the earnings, shout out to eWhispers. I highlight the ones that I think you're going to care about the most. So for example, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. Actually, Goldman Sachs was already today. Morgan Stanley, TSMC, United Health Group. On Friday, SLB. I give you all the major things to pay attention to in terms of macroeconomic events. Wednesday, January 15th, that's today. You have the CPI report, crude oil inventories. I give you the seasonality for each individual day. Today, over the past 25 years, is a strange day. So once again, these are the hypothetical results you would have if you bought at open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market for this individual day. You can see for quite a stretch back in history, it was doing nothing. Then there was a big bullish push. Over the past couple of years, there was a bearish sell-off. So when you put all that together, I would say it's slightly leaning bearish, but if anything, it's really choppy. And I wouldn't be surprised because obviously if we're in this time of the year and we're kind of getting whatever updates from the Fed, if we're getting updates from inflation, I could see how it's just like a very volatile graph. So the way I personally interpret this is I'm not taking seasonality into account today because it does seem like today is a news-driven day, as we're obviously seeing from our own particular reality right now. Now, tomorrow, Thursday, does slightly favor the Bears, and then Friday does favor the Bulls. So it's kind of a choppy week. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. One reason to maybe get in is you guys can see right here, I am degenerately long about, $13,000, $15,000 worth of calls. And I am very excited for market open because these things are going to open up nice and green. So it is that time of the day where we start to figure out some important levels, and 591. So we are opening up. We are slated to open up on SPY right at this key level of 591. Look at, we have some resistance, we have some support, we have some resistance, support, resistance, 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 resistance. 591 is very, very, very important. So it's no surprise that we got quickly sucked up to that level, and it appears that we will be opening there. I want to see what the SPX equivalent is right now. We're at 5933. So the SPX equivalent of SPY being at 591 is basically somewhere between 5,930 and 5,935. If you look at the key option levels, you could see this. I mean, there's a lot of action going on. The first thing that jumps out to me is there's a lot of long calls to 5925 and 5940. So out of the gate, I just hope that these players do not monetize. And you can also see that there's huge resistance at 5960. That's a lot of sold calls. Remember, when you're selling calls, you don't want the market to go above that. So that right out of the gate is going to be a major level for me. 5960, if you're looking at SPX, that's where there's a lot of sold calls. Now, obviously, if the market can take that out, then we are talking about 6,000 flat. So 596, you know what? That's actually so important that we might as well just mark that out now. We're gapping up all the way to here, 5960. All right. This will be a key level on the day. So very much watching that. Obviously, 5,900 in its own right is going to be very important. We know that's massively pivotal. Let me get all of these. Let's just get the key levels so we can react in a little bit more of a timely fashion. So 5,900, great. 5,960. Well, really, this 10-point region is going to be an important one. And then you see that we have some long calls between, what was this? Is that 40? And 25. So 40 and 25 with this, maybe it was a debit spread, or this could have been a credit spread. It depends on how some of these are paired together, but this might be a call credit spread at 35 by 40. So that's probably another worthwhile one to watch. I'm assuming my base assumption right now is these are straight up long calls at 5925. And then my assumption is that this at 5935 by 5940, I'm assuming just because it's roughly the same size that this is actually a call credit spread. So we should probably be watching 3.5 as well. We're going to get more clarity on how these players are handling the situation and who's who and what's what, obviously at market open. But out of the gate, these are probably the first 3 major levels that I will be paying attention to based on the 0 DTE positioning. Obviously, it does change if you're looking at not only 0 DTE, but everything else. That's where you see this massive 5,910 level. This is where you see the 5,940. But for today, I think it's a little bit more influential to just track what's going on in the 0 DTE. Now, with it, as I always show you, we're going to be tracking the options flow throughout the day. We saw this yesterday, and this was very, very important. We had that quality PPI report. The inflation came in lower than expected yesterday. And the reason it didn't hold, I mean, I could show you right now on the chart, was right at market open, people were selling calls and they were buying puts. So even though we had a gap up, what you see on the chart right now is yesterday's action, not only in the price movement of the SPX, but also how the calls were moving and how the puts were moving. And you can see this is why price went down. Options were leading it lower. People were buying 0 DTE puts and they were selling 0 DTE calls. Now, were they creating the position by selling or were they monetizing previous positions? Your guess is as good as mine. But all I can tell you is that the delta dramatically dropped from 9:40 all the way up to noon. And then from noon up until about 2:30, we saw a reversion. People started buying calls and they started getting out of their puts. And then it was this movement right here around about 2 p.m. This is why I decided to swing calls into close. Because even though price vomited, look what didn't vomit that much. People weren't really getting out of their calls. And the thing that really convinced me is even in this vomit from about 2:40 to roughly 3:15, look at the calls for this Friday on the Mag 7, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla, it barely moved. This green line right here, that is the calls for this Friday on the Mag 7. Even in the face of this vomit, these players said, we don't give a fuck. So because there was so much strength in short duration calls, that's exactly why your boy swung a ton of calls myself, because I just figured that they knew something I didn't, and I figured I'd be riding with them. So even though price got really smashed right here, like I said, around 3 p.m., right around the start of power hour, the call players, they didn't really seem to care. They were holding strong, which obviously gave me the confidence. So that's how yesterday played out. I don't know how today's going to play out. In my base case is that today's going to be pretty bullish because now we have 2 days in a row with inflation coming in lower than expected. The PPI report yesterday came in lower. The CPI report today came in lower. When you have these back-to-back quality, good, bullish announcements, data drops, however you want to refer to them, I believe eventually price is going to follow. Right now, we're in a situation where the tail is wagging the dog, as in we got to pay attention to options. It's the derivatives market at this point in time that's really moving the underlying market, not the other way around. Right now, I actually feel much more comfortable making my trades off knowing what's going on with options rather than price itself. So that's what we're going to be watching out of the gate. And what I'm hoping to see, I wouldn't be surprised if because we have such a dramatic gap up that there's a little bit of profit taken right at open just because of people playing this one particular event. But what I want to see is things stabilize. And then I want to see puts go flat. I want to see the blue lines going sideways or trending up slightly. But really what I want to see is the green and the orange on both the equities and on the Mag 7 just ripping higher. I want to see people bullishly getting into it because that's going to be adding a lot more positive delta to the system. And when you add positive delta to the system, that naturally pushes things up because the market makers are going to be forced to hedge by buying the underlying. So as people get into these calls, go and go and go and go and go, that's more positive delta, and it gives us an idea of how the market makers are going to have to hedge. So that's what I want to see happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that would be an optimal bullish situation. Now, if that does occur, you're going to see me trading quite a bit. Not only do I have my 20 Apex accounts right here, but I now have 5 new take profit accounts. And the reason I have 5 new take profit accounts is because Take Profit Trader, another SIMDA funded company for the futures market, is currently running the best deal. Folks, I am not married to one prop company. I'm going to tell you about the ones in real time that have the best deals. And right now, the answer to that is Take Profit Trader. So if you use the code Goonie, not only do you get 50% off from life, but now they're getting rid of the daily loss limit. So instead of just having the daily loss limit and the overall loss as rules, if you've ever traded these, you know that the daily loss limit, the DLL, is a complete pain in the butt. They're getting rid of that. So use that code Goonie. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Basically, I currently have 150,000, $750,000 worth of funding from Take Profit. I got them all this morning to get in on the deal. So I want to be trading those today. This is my first day trading them. But like I said, if you use that code Goonie, not only will you get 50% off for life, but no longer is there a daily loss limit rule, which is going to make your trading way, way easier. So if you're interested in this in real time, this is currently the best futures prop deal. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And don't forget to use that code Goonie when you're checking out to actually get the discount. Why pay double when you could use the code to get some off? I'm very excited because these particular ones, I'm giving myself a challenge. I don't want to manually trade these. These ones, I'm going to let Skynet trade for me, and I'm hoping that Skynet knows something that I particularly do not. And speaking of Skynet, I want to make sure that this is properly on. Hang on, edit strategy, long. Okay, we are looking for long opportunities. That is on. Okay, we are engaged, and let's see. Let's hope that the robots are better at trading than I am. All right, so we did this. We marked out those key levels. As of now, we're slated to open right around here. Around 5,930. So we're going to be opening roughly where my cursor is. We have big support down at 5,900. We have big resistance up here at 5,960 on a 0 DTE basis. Obviously, if that breaks and goes, there is a chance of just FOMO and a lot of people like just punting their positions into calls. And we could be talking about 6,000, but let's just take it a level at a time. I don't want to make larger conjectures right now when we still need to wait for the open and see what's going on with the options market. So clearly things are looking good. That's what happens when you have a cool inflation report. With respect to the SPY, if things get nuts today, we would have to break out of basically 594 to get out of this trend line. It's possible, but I'm really interested first in holding 590 just because not only is that where we're slated to open right now, but you could just see it's such an important look at resistance, 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 support, resistance, like right now, 590 to 591, it's just a very important level on the daily chart. So I'll be watching that. Obviously, if we base there, we might be talking about this trend line test of 593 today. If you look at the Qs, we have an important level at 512. We have an important level at 516, and then the breakout's closer to 518. If you're looking at the Russell, we're looking for the breakout of about 226, currently trading at 225, and then things can get really fun and exciting for the small cap sector if we can take out 227. It's this recent high from Monday, January the 6th. So actually, you know what we'll do? We're going to get rid of this line. I'm just going to be sending up these alerts so we know how crazy things are or aren't getting. Bitcoin, a nice recovery off the 50 EMA. It looked like a shoulder, head, shoulder, but obviously with this cooler than expected inflation report, we had that fake out breakdown on Monday, recovering nicely. Look for it to take out 99.9. It's this recent high. And then from there, I'm looking for it to basically get above, what would this be? Looks like it is 102.7. So watching that. Obviously, the inauguration is Monday. I think there could be a lot of excitement on DJT, not necessarily anything to do with the fundamental value of the company or the direction. I think that people are just using this as a caveat to represent their excitement for the new president. So I'm going to be watching DJT. Obviously, if it gets cooking above 40, 42, that's exciting because that's where a lot of the options are positioned. So if that breaks, then we have an easy shot up to 46. With respect to Tesla, obviously we covered the Elon news this morning. What I'll be looking for here is a continuation. It attempted to break out yesterday, got swiftly smacked. So I want to see it take out 423. Right now we're about $10 away from it. On the flip side, if it starts to break down, then I'll be watching 380. NVIDIA, looking all right this morning. I want to see it recover above its 50 EMA. It's looking a little bit weak right now, but we know that this thing can move pretty quickly, so I'm excited for it. Checking out Meta, strong recovery, fake out breakdown. Right here, it's actually kind of gapping up. It's set to gap up. So I would like to see it hold 606, push 607, 608. If it can hold that, we might be talking about Meta reversing all the way up to 630. So this one, out of the ones we've gone through today, this right now, given the current data, this would probably be a top watch for me. Palantir, also an incredibly strong recovery, a save right off that 50 EMA. Watch for it to really push 69, and then we might be talking about that reversion in more of the short to medium term back up to 80. Coinbase right here trying to fight its way back up to that 50 EMA. Definitely watching that. Rumble right now, green in pre-market, up about 5%. Would love to see this recover 11 and change, maybe 12. Want to see it back up above this trend line. Obviously still holding a decent percentage of the pump, but not long ago it was at 17. Also not long before that it was all the way at 7. So very volatile stock. I don't actively trade it. I am invested in it though. Microsoft trying to recover back up into this wedge. So watching roughly the low 420s on MSFT. Apple not doing much this morning. MSTR, nice gap up about 4%. If you're playing MSTR, you're going to want to be looking for it to break above 380. Broadcom, another semiconductor play, honestly not moving that much. ASML trying to hold above 700. This is the machine maker for the fabricators for semiconductors. I like the generic higher highs and higher lows, but I'll feel a lot more confident when it breaks out of this longer down trend line. So I just want to see it actually push and hold that. Amazon this morning also trying to break out of its trend line, similar to Tesla. Look for it to take out 223 and some change. Google trying to hold its trend line. Netflix trying to bounce back and see if this is a fake out breakout at the 50 EMA. If Netflix recovers, I actually wouldn't mind either selling puts or maybe just investing in it. But if Netflix can get back above 860, 870, I think that's interesting. Texas Roadhouse, whenever you see red, you just know that it's horrific manipulation. You know Texas Roadhouse should never be going down. Quantum stocks are super volatile. Remember, these quantum stocks, as of right now, are not quality investments. They're good active trades because they have good range to the upside. They have good range to the downside. You could play it in either direction, but just to punt a bunch of money into this and then argue that it's a good investment, it's not a good investment. It's not fundamentally, it's a high risk, high reward. If you're right, you're going to get paid well. But these companies, if you look at their financials, they're not that strong right now. They're hemorrhaging a ton of money. They're not even close to being break even. So if you do it, if you're investing in it, please know it comes with a lot of risk and obviously high risk, high reward. But I think that these are Rigetti, what do you have? Quantum computing, you have D-Wave, that whole group. They're just good active trades. They have huge range upside. They have huge range downside. I think these are really good swing trades, in my opinion. We have bonds bouncing a little bit, but they've just been getting absolutely demolished ever since September. Maybe the bottom's being put in. I'm a little bit skeptical. I think we're going to just need some time. Oil's looking strong. This is honestly another sign that people think inflation's here to stay. Generally, commodities start to pump when people are fearful about inflation. So oil not long ago at 68 all the way up to 78. If you did that on one contract, that would be a $10,000 return. Gold bouncing from 2,600 to 2,700. You have the yield curve still in the positive territory. It is no longer inverted. Just remember, as this continues to pump, as we're in this phase referred to as bullish steepening in the yield curve, that is commonly correlated with a spike in unemployment, especially when you know you have a little bit of a soft labor market. So something just to keep in the back of your mind. Solana trying to get this trend line breakout, and Ripple is literally getting this breakout. So Ripple is just going right now. How many of you are in Ripple? I have to admit, the Ripple community makes no sense to me. I would respect the Ripple community a lot more if they just publicly admitted this is a degenerate trade. And I think a lot of the Ripple community has themselves buffaloed into thinking that this is just a quality fundamental investment. This is not a quality fundamental investment. It's a great trade to the upside and to the downside. And I think there's a lot of people conflating the fact that it's a good trade to making it a good investment. It's not a good investment. They don't know what they're talking about. I fully admit I wish I was in it. I fully admit I was making this money. But to just randomly white knuckle this thing and think that it's a great fundamental investment, you just don't know what the company is doing. It is a great swing trade. Bullish or bearish, I fully admit you can make a ton of money if you know what you're doing. But just to randomly buy it and then just be like, nope, I'm just going to hold it forever. Dude, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Ripple's not XRP. Okay, well, Ripple made XRP. It's made from Ripple Labs. No shit. I'm just saying in general, and people refer to it as Ripple. So what are you talking about? In conversation, people don't say XRP. They're like, oh yeah, I'm in Ripple. Like that's colloquially, I know technically it's not right, but that's how people in normal conversations actually talk. But my point with this is just be careful. If you're up a lot of money, put in a stop loss and just ride it and ride it and ride it. Ride it while the trend is good. This is clearly a bullish trend. There's no reason to get out right now with a bullish trend. We know that the founders of Ripple, the head honchos at Ripple, they're playing buddy-buddy with Trump right now. There's a lot of tailwinds that suggest this could go higher. But that doesn't make it an investment. It makes it a trade. As soon as the trend is lost, take your money and then either go short or wait for the bullish trend to once again restart. It's not rocket science. We're not talking about rocket surgery here, folks. We're not. It's an active trade. And if you're smart and shrewd and being realistic with yourself, you can make a ton of money. But just to be like, I'm just going to buy it and like hope it works out. Look at what happened to the people who did that in AMC, GME, NOK, BB, Doge, all of them. No, the people who made the most money are the people who were active traders, swing traders who admitted when the trend was changing, not people who just like sat there and like, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. XRP is going to the moon. Maybe. If it is, good luck. I hope you make a ton of money. I'm not against it. It's just, I'm also not against people trading like Fartcoin. Once again, it's, you gotta be there while the trend is strong. While this trend is strong, that is exactly what you are looking for. So anyway, Ripple actually showing quite a bit of strength. Is Fartcoin on this? Fartcoin USD. Hell yeah, dude. Fartcoin. Nice 14% pop on Fartcoin. Same thing. In my mind, there's really no difference between Fartcoin and XRP. You ride it while the trend is strong. How's Doge doing? I haven't checked in on this one in a minute. Doge, not as good as the other ones, but maybe picking up. Shiba Inu. Shiba does not look so good. What are the other like random ass ones that people are trying to get into? I can only think of Fartcoin at this moment. Ski Mask Dog. Ski Mask. I know this is one that a senator, Ski Mask Dog right here. Not so hot. Ski Mask Dog not doing so good. I guess that's what they say. It's all the good money's in Fartcoin. So silly. All right. Anywho, let's get this ready. Let's get prepped up. This is a serious show for serious people. Serious show for serious people. All right. We have that. We have this. We have the SPX 1 minute. So I'm going to be waiting for the gap up. It's going to be gapping up about 70 points. It is predicted. Yeah, we're at like about. Oh, let me switch this up. Dog with hat. All those Pepe. Okay. Yeah, there are a ton more. Okay, now we're slated to open up at 5925. Yesterday, we closed out at 5842. So we're opening up about 80-ish points higher, roughly, give or take. So we're looking good. I mean, the SPY closed out at 582.19. We're gapping up to 590. I'm very excited to see what kind of gap up I have going on here. Right at market close, or basically in the last 2 hours of the day, I ended up putting in about $13,000 into this. I punted long pretty hard, and obviously it looks like it's going to be paying dividends out of the gate. We see the SPY, Qs, and the Russell all pretty strong. What was the one? Wait, what did I? Oh, Meta. Meta is the one that I think is looking pretty interesting right now. So if I forget it, can someone remind me throughout the trading day to check in specifically on the options flow for Meta? Because I think we're seeing a pretty interesting development in terms of the technicals. So if we see agreement in the options flow, I think we're going to have some opportunity on Meta for a bit of a swing trade. So I'll be checking that out. But let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. DJT's picking up, dude. This thing can move out of nowhere. That's probably worthwhile to watch. If you guys see something moving like crazy, please shout it out in chat. I have no issue bringing it up on screen. I guess we'll just start with this because I know there's quite a bit of interest in the overall market. I know DJT with Trump being inaugurated on Monday. Meta's looking exciting. So if you guys see something moving like crazy that you're like really interested in, obviously shout it out, just comment it away, and we'll bring it up and maybe we could have some good opportunity. But the market's going to be opening up in 2 minutes. So before we get to that, obviously shout shout out to Take Profit Trader. They are sim to funding company, similar to the other ones you heard about. I just got myself 5 of these accounts. Count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll be trading them today, about $750,000 in funding. Hopefully, I could do well on this. But if you use that code Goonie, you're going to get 50% off for life. And also, there's no longer a daily loss limit. Right now, in real time, this is the best offering in sim to fund in futures trading. This is currently the best one. So day to day, they're not always the same. Some are better, some are worse based on the current offering and coupons they're giving. If you're interested in this today in real time, go to Take Profit Trader and check out Goonie. Use that to apply that coupon at the end to get that 50% off. So obviously shout out to Take Profit Trader for partnering up with us on today's Degenerate Show. And let's open this up. All right, the account is currently just below 59,000. I want to know how much we're going to open up. I hope we clear 75. I could have done the math on options, didn't feel like doing the math on options, but I believe the back of the napkin mental math this should be above $75,000 when it opens, if I'm doing my quick mental math right. Obviously, a lot of it's going to matter by how much this vol does or doesn't expand. So we're going to find out in about 20 seconds. So with that short time period to go, I want to remind everyone, stick to your trading plan. Don't do what I do and go on tilt. Stick to your plan, respect your risk, don't overbet. The money will come to you. The weakest thing in your trading system is you. It is not your system. You got to battle yourself. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Come on, update. So I can see I'm up about unrealized I'm up about $8,000. Yes, 68. All right. I was hoping for 75, but a nice little swing there of about 10K to get the day going. I'm a fan. We see Meta with a bit of strength. DJT just got a pop there. We're going to see how things shake out. I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy. Let's go to the 5 second. I see a little bit of an upswing in the deltas early this morning. I see it's kind of flat, a little bit of an upswing. So let's see how the riffraff decides to really shake itself out today. I'm not trying to be so crazy and make decisions right out of the gate. We're going to see how it's going to go. RIP my IWM puts. Why did you buy IWM puts going into an inflation report, dude? I called it out in yesterday's update video that if you're going to do anything, you should have been bullish. Just the generic odds suggest being bullish going into CPI reports. I even did a breakdown of the most recent 10 CPI reports to give you the exact odds, but it was about a 70% chance favoring the bulls and a 30% chance favoring the bears. The odds of this situation, not just a little bit, but dramatically suggested that the bulls were going to win. This wasn't a gut feel thing. It was honestly just kind of a basic study. I got it to the boys in the lab. And when I say the boys in the lab, I mean, I asked my cat about it, and that's how it turned out. Dude, DJT's getting going today. DJT's the biggest gainer on my watch list right now. It's pumping. Come on. We need Moss. More. What strikes did I play? I played 592 and 515. 592 and 5. Okay.
Order filled.
Uh-oh. Skynet's firing off, folks. Skynet is firing off. Skynet just went long. So I'm trading these 5 accounts with Skynet, just to clarify. And then these ones I'm going to manually trade. And these were the new take profit accounts that I was just telling you about. So we're going to see. We're going to see how much Skynet knows about stuff that I don't know about. Once again, this is going to be, obviously, I made the algorithm. And when I say I made the algorithm, my cat made the algorithm. But we're going to see how good Piper is at creating trading algorithms. Hopefully the very first trade isn't a loser, because that would be a huge freaking bummer. But anyway, you can see right above my head, these 5 accounts are currently trading. They're all trading the same thing. So that's this one. And then as I alluded to, I'll be manually trading the other ones. But we'll see. We're going to see. The SPY opening up decent. The Qs opening up decent. DJT having a pretty strong start. The options flow, people are buying 0 DTE calls currently on the SPY. The puts aren't really being touched. If you look at the Mag 7, people were buying calls up for the first 2.5 minutes, and they were also closing puts. So thus far, and granted, we only have 3 minutes worth of data. We do have a bullish push in the options market. We do have a bullish push in the options market also for the S&P 500. So right now, the Mag 7 and the S&P 500, right now, it is bullish, currently agreeing with price. I'm always hesitant to make decisions this early in the day just because we don't have that much data. But with that being said, I should let you know, obviously, that Skynet did go long. Currently down, but not by much. We'll see what Skynet decides to get up to today. Hopefully, Skynet crushes it. Hopefully, Skynet absolutely crushes it. And then I need to pay attention to my I have a lot of things to consider today because I'm swinging positions. At some point, Piper's going to fire and I should be selling premium. And then I have to do my futures trades. There's just a lot going on today. And I'm hoping that, we are coming up to that first level on SPX. So remember, I told you that there's big support at 5,900. First resistance level is 5,935. And then big resistance is all the way up at 5,960. So these are the 3 major levels I'm watching out of the gate. Obviously, that's dynamic and it'll be changing throughout the day. With respect to the daily, right now, 590 to 591 is a very key level on the SPY. You can see how much choppiness has been executed right at this level. Lots of wicks, support, resistance, wick. So that's right where we are, and it happens to be right under this trend line breakout. So this whole region will be an interesting watch. Obviously, a breakout and hold above that will be a very strong performance by the bulls, and it could totally happen, but all I can tell you is we got to watch right now. Whenever we get to key levels, you can never really confidently predict a breakout or a breakdown, a fake out breakout, a fake out breakdown. All I can tell you is it's an important level. You gotta watch it. Same thing right here with the Qs. As soon as this lows, we're also in roughly a key level right now, and there's one kind of close right ahead as well. So we're coming up to resistance. Obviously, fingers crossed for a breakout. I think that would lead to a much more interesting trade, but time will tell. You can't really force the market to give you something that's not there. What's happening in options? Even though price is coming down, options aren't. Options went flat starting at 932. The Mag 7 went flat. And then some put buying is coming in right now in real time. But please remember, we're only 6 minutes into the day. There's not much data to be basing this stuff off of. Looks like Skynet's about to cut. Skynet is about to cut. Unless there's a huge pop right here. What are you doing?
Order filled.
Okay, so Skynet just cut. So first trade for Skynet, not so good, losing about $900 per account. Just a completely automated type of a thing. But it's not off. It'll keep trading. It was trying to catch, I guess, this early morning momentum that ended up getting smashed. So we'll see. We'll see how good Skynet actually wants to be today. And then obviously, if it pumps again, if we go back up to the intraday high, it looks like it's getting geared up to take another one. Skynet got wrecked. Yeah, on the first trade, but we'll see. Doesn't make me so happy because it's not like those accounts are the cheapest thing. It's not fun to just keep blowing accounts, but we're going to see. So what's interesting here is the SPY's coming down, but options aren't moving that much. Price is a little bit more dramatic to the downside than options actually are. So I know that this seems a little bit wonky, a little bit crazy, but I mean, all I can tell you is we don't have that much going on to the downside here. Look at that. The delta is actually holding pretty well. Let me switch over to this. The delta came down a little bit, but like I said, not as much as prices. This might be a little bit of a shakeout from the weak bulls. I don't know. Maybe we got a little bit of a shakeout going on. I'm going to feel real stupid if that was the high of the day and I didn't take any of my call profit. I'm going to feel real dumb. So here's to hoping we turn back around. I'm hoping. There is a gap fill. I see someone in chat's talking about a gap fill. There's a downside gap fill on the Qs to 510.16. There's a downside gap fill on the SPY all the way to 585. Obviously, the Qs are way closer. The SPY is a good distance away. And even the Russell is pretty far away to 220.23. So there are gaps on the SPY, the Qs, and the Russell. Playing gap fills are high odds. The odds do drop, though, when it is a event-based gap. So I just want to let you know about that. Also, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the 4-hour are now all bullish. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the 4-hour, or the 4 hours trying to go bullish on NQ. But all the shorter time frames, the 5, the 10, and the 30, on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, currently favoring the bulls. So I'm not really looking for a bearish opportunity, just because when we have 2 days back-to-back with cool inflation reports, feels like you're kind of fighting the economic trend. With that being said, obviously there was a big dip yesterday, so this isn't like the end all be all. I think Skynet's going to go long. Skynet?
Order filled.
Skynet just went long. Let's see if Skynet can make this money back. Come on, Skynet. This is what we do our robots for. This is what our AI robot systems are meant to do. Catch me a recovery. Pay for yourself. Get me in the green. Skynet, obviously on the screen right now, going long once again. Would love for this to get back to be net positive. Net positive here, Tonto. Oh, what do we have here? What time is it? I don't feel like manually trading quite yet. I want a little bit more time just because it seems like the shakeouts have been lasting for longer than 10 minutes. That actually, Skynet's entry might have been the entry of the day, because if we just take off and rip here, I'll feel a little bit silly, but hey, at least Skynet got it. At least Skynet got it. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Almost back to break even. We're 10 points away. I think if I get back up to like 80-ish, which is going to be close to that intraday high, but if it gets back up to 80, I'll be roughly break even, but Skynet will not be selling there. Skynet will just keep it riding and riding and riding. Man, why did I not manually trade that? Options flow. Mag 7 is picking up nicely. SPX is kind of, it got hit a little bit from 35 to 39, but it appears to be picking up. I am still interested in Meta. The DJT has a nice gain. Tesla has a nice gain. Meta has a decent gain. NVIDIA is actually not doing much. DJT, Tesla, and Meta are kind of the three big gainers on my watch list. Oh, Palantir and Coin are up quite a bit, and Rumble's up quite a bit. Actually, really, NVIDIA is the one awkwardly lagging behind, but Palantir up 3%, Coin up 5%, Rumble up almost 6%, Microsoft 1.6%, Apple 1.7%, MSTR up 5%, Broadcom 1.3%. ASML and NVIDIA aren't doing much, but there's a lot of nice ones. These quantum computing plays are up a lot. RGTI gapped up 22%. Solana's up 3%. XRP's up 6%. There's some opportunity here right now for sure. Tesla, what's Tesla doing? Tesla had a nice pop. Meta, not so much. Looking good intraday. Coin, Tesla's looking good intraday. What else is looking good intraday? Looks like Skynet's back in the green. This is the second trade of Skynet's life, and it is, if it were to close out right now, which it will not close out right now, it would be net ahead, but hey, we're going to see. Maybe Skynet knows something that I don't, but I should also get ready for my own trades. Haven't really seen something that I absolutely love yet. What I want to happen that I think would be like a perfect trade setup is a pop above the current intraday high and then a retest of that high, like kind of an overshoot, a retest, a point for me to go long and then ride the trend even higher is what I would like to happen. Coin's popping off. So Coin and MSTR, even Palantir's turning back around. NVIDIA's now even recovering. Meta's not looking so good. Tesla, DJT. Coin's popping right there. Rumble. Man, there's a lot. There's almost too much to pay attention to today. Oh, Skynet on this trade up 5K. Net, that's up about 1,000 because the first trade was a locked-in loss of about 900. But Skynet is riding. All right, I just need my opportunity. Man, if I manually followed Skynet, I'd already be done for the day. I'd lock in my $1,000 on all 20 accounts. I'd be up 20K, and I'd say, thanks, see you later. Speaking of being up money, my option trade's currently up 10K. Maybe I lock him in, maybe I don't. We'll find out. Coin's going, Tesla's going right there. SPY Qs. Dude, this is just riding right now. This is just riding it. It's riding it. You can't see it on the screen right now, but there is a stop loss in that's already in profit. So this particular trade will not be losing money. But it looks like it is net ahead at the moment. Net ahead, and we're going to, hey, if the trend's there, it's going to stay in. If the trend is there, it's going to stay in. Here's the real-time options flow picking back up on the index. Just hit almost a new delta high on the all expiration. It did hit a new delta high on the 0DT, and the Mag 7 are long and strong. I keep looking over here because I'm waiting for the opportunity for myself to trade. I need to trade on my other accounts as well. And there's not like enough. I kind of just missed this whole pump, which I'm a bit bummed out about. So I wouldn't mind a pull back to like 70 or something. Like I don't want to trace the new high. That feels silly because knowing my luck, if I chase it, that's exactly when I get boned. I wouldn't, like maybe a quick little pullback to 513.50. I just don't want to pay like a dollar premium on the Qs. I feel like I could, instead of getting in at 300, I might be able to get in at 70 or 60 and just all of a sudden just save myself quite a bit of downside risk. Would not even 80 I would take at this point. 75, 80. No, is the train just leaving without me? Is the train leaving without me? Is the train leaving without me? All right. What I am looking for now is a little bit of a depression in price, a nice base, something that I could go long off of, and that's what I'm looking to be playing. All right. I like this pump. I like that bullishness. Give me a little bit of a fade, something that I can sink my teeth into. Something. Is this just gonna, it might be basing at 300 and take off. It might have just caught its base right here, 21,300 flat, and this thing might be just gone. Might be gone. Damn. Coin turning a little. What about Tesla a little? DJT, Meta, NVDA, Palantir, Coin, MSTR, Rumble. Microsoft's going a lot. Jesus. A lot. Oh, maybe I should have bought here at 02. Maybe. Skynet's up net 700. The current plays are all up 1.6K. Oh, how do I want to play this? MSFT just got a nice breakout, most likely on the daily. MSFT. Yeah. Remember before at the start of stream, this is the daily chart on Microsoft, recovering above the high on Friday, getting right back into this. That's a strong movement on Microsoft, which I believe is it the number? Oops. Tab. Nope. Top market cap company. Where is Microsoft in the list? Microsoft is currently number 3, but by this performance, I wouldn't be surprised if it skips over NVIDIA at some point today. Microsoft's really going. Dude, I was really thinking about this long trade here. I should have pulled the trigger on it. Should have pulled the trigger on it. Should have pulled the trigger. If I followed Skynet, I'd be up 1,000 net or 1.9K on this trade. Damn, dude. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. How's the options flow looking? Pretty strong. Yeah, options flow is up, and away, team. Up, and away. I mean, honestly, this might be the only little dip that they're going to give me. This might be the only little dip that they're going to give me. What I should watch, I just want to make sure I'm not going long into... Okay, so we broke 35. So there is still upward room to 60. Remember, these are all just like levels that are currently like just current key levels. So there's about $2 more roughly in the SPY. SPY's at 592. We could see 594 today, like without much of an issue. Do I want to take this long?
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, that is my max, but if it turns early, I will get out. Wait a second. Why did these other ones not trade? I'm confused. Hang on. My trade copier appears to be broken. What the fuck? Okay, I have no idea what's going on. It appears that my trade copier is currently broken. So what we're going to do... Well, I wish I could have closed this for actual profit here. Maybe I should close it for a profit anyway. What the fuck happened? I'm trying to think about the best way how to handle this. Should I trade? There's just nothing here. It's just blank. And you could see that only 3 got traded. All right. I'm just going to close this out. Those are closed out. I had a lock and a loss, unfortunately. Something's weird with my trade copier right now. Let me try to reset it up. Oh, the life of a trader. Okay. I think that's about it. Hopefully this now works. I don't know. We're going to find out. That's a bit of a bummer. Kind of forced me to take a little bit of an unexpected loss there. All right. Now back to the market. Back to what we're here for. Back to what we're here for. So now I'm flat. I was kind of forced out of that position at not the most ideal time, but hey, you never know the next bar. If we end up puking here, I'll be happy that it saved me money. But something happened there. That was a bit strange. A wee bit strange. Options are slowing down a little bit. We went flat. Trying to hold this. And I would have already been back to break even. That's a huge bummer, dude. A huge bummer. I'm just trying to pinpoint this if I really want to go long again right here. I'm a little bit frustrated out of that, but I need to get that out of my mind. Skynet's still rocking. Skynet's up 2K. Skynet is up 2K. What time is it? It is 9:52. I wonder if at this point I should just wait for 10 a.m. Sometimes we just see some, I don't know, bouts of volatility right at 10. Microsoft is looking pretty strong right now. Looking pretty strong. Mag 7 is flat. S&P is flat. So we had a good pump. Now a little bit of a breather. Maybe I should just wait. Maybe I was being a little bit chasey. If it pulls back much, Skynet will exit because these were already kind of like already sizable gains. Here's Here's Piper. Here's Skynet. Like I said, if it pulls back much more, Skynet will close this out and we'll lock in about, I don't know, 5. Yep, right there. So Skynet is now net ahead 600 on each account. So first 5, not bad. Two trades in. First one was a loss of about 900. Second one was a gain of about whatever it was to be net 6 of 1,500. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. And now this actually makes me a little bit more comfortable with what I need to be doing here. I actually, in a weird way, maybe I got lucky on this mess up with the trade copier. Maybe I got lucky because I would still be in that right now, or maybe I would have just cut it. So instead of losing money on all of these accounts, I only lost money on 3 because of a weird errant mess up. Where would I consider going long? Should I just go long with Skynet? Maybe that's a strategy. Here's a bit of a breather. You know what I could do? Is I could look for this like bull flag breakout. Something like that. Maybe that's a more of a measurable way to do this. Here, let's make this a bit bigger so I can see more. So I could watch something like this trend line, and then obviously buying that breakout, your risk would be the recent swing low. It's with the overall trend. So I don't hate that idea. That's kind of where my current mindset is at. I would prefer that this low holds right here at 953. The time head and shoulder, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's not really much of a head and shoulder, dude. I think you're on something good if you think there's a head and shoulder. This has pretty much just been a straight line up. Remember, if you're talking about this right here, I'm on the 200 tick chart. Like I am really, really zoomed in. Obviously, even when by the time you zoom out to a 1 minute chart, it's telling a different story. It's telling a very different story. All right, so it does seem like the SPX is struggling at that first resistance. We overshot the 35, hit the 40, which I assume tested some of these players. We've actually already seen a pretty big shift. I hope we don't have a dramatic amount of a pullback. Where do we get up to? 50. Okay, hang on. Things got switched this morning. We already saw quite a change. So 5970. I need to reshift some of this. So this one should now be at 70. These are where there's a lot of long calls. That's this player right here. But then this whole region, 50 to 60, 55. So we'll just cut this in half because there's a lot of sold calls right here. So in terms of key levels, it kind of goes like this now. There's been a shift since market open, which I think we could all have anticipated. Okay. So 35 was resistance. Now let's see if it will act as support. Next level is 55. Level after that is 70. And I'm literally just getting that off of the current options placement. There's quite a bit of protection down here at 5840. Not that I think we're really going to get there. At 5940, which is where we first got smacked. There were some long calls. That player might have monetized a little bit. Maybe that's why we got smacked. That's possible. Oh, hang on. I think Skynet's about to go long, and maybe I will as well. Do I like it right here? All right. Am I being smart? Let's do a review. I want to know, hey, Boost You has rated this stream. I don't know if I've ever been rated before, but shout out to Boost You. That's awesome. Let's see if I'm being smart. The 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute, and the 4 hour are bullish. The 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute, and the 4 hour are bullish. So just pure price reading, that is bullish. The options flow was bullish, now flat. Options flow, bullish, a pullback, a bit of a recovery. Options are coming back into this, call options are coming back into the system. Mag 7, I see some calls picking up as well. What if it goes up here and gets smacked? What if it goes up there and breaks out though? I'm doing it.
Order filled.
All right, and this time it worked.
Order filled.
This time it worked. Oh, and Skynet went long as well. So Skynet's long, I'm long. All right. Let's see if this trend line actually breaks. I bought it right at the trend line. I probably should have done it when I was thinking a bit earlier. I would have saved myself 10 points, but hey, if I'm catching a trend, I probably don't have to worry about 10 points. The trend is either there or it's not. So Skynet's going to do its thing, and my job is to be in charge of these accounts. Okay, so what do I need? I'm doing some quick math to consider the consistency rule. All right, let's sell it right before the next 100 rung.
Order submitted.
Max. That's my max on the day. Obviously, I'll get out if the price action warrants it. If the price action warrants it. And we're off to the races. Let's see if I can keep my streak alive of the best trader on this side of the Mississippi. Not only am I manually long right now with my 20 accounts, but then Skynet is also long on the Skynet accounts. I got a fill at 331.25, and then Skynet got a fill at 28. So roughly the same. Skynet, a slightly better fill, but we're going to see how this one goes. We're going to see how this bad mamma jamma goes. I'm very much hoping that this is not a fake out breakout. Very, very much hoping that's not a fake out breakout. Options flow. Some puts are coming in, but the calls are still decent. Go to the 5 second. We might be able to get a more granular view. Okay. I mean, the options flow is still strong. It could be a bit stronger, but I also recognize we're at key levels right now. 592 is important on the SPY. 515 is important on the Qs. On SPX, we're trying to break above this 35 key options level, setting us up ideally for a test of 55. If we hit 55, I should be able to get my profits in at that point before, I don't think I'll have to worry about a rejection here. I think if we're all the way up there, I should be good. My options are looking well, or looking solid. I'm up 13K on that. Like I said, I would love to get up to 75K today. These were all called out yesterday in real time. This is why you should be in the Goonie Trading Discord. Obviously, this trade alone would have paid for many, many, many years of this service. And we are off to the races. There we go. That's what I like to see. Tonto. I like to see a lot of green. So I guess getting that breakout was the right call today. Skynet's running crazy. I'm running crazy. And I'm trying to lock in these profits right before that next $100 rung. I'm trying to get out at 21,398, right below that 21,400. Those are for my personal accounts. Obviously, Skynet is more than happy to just keep running if the run is still there. So we'll see how this plays out. But I would love a pump all the way up. I'll be careful. I don't want to lose money today, so I should probably put in a stop at some point. Honestly, the fact that I'm already up 30 points means I should probably at minimum have the stop in at break even. Right now, it's a bit of a mental stop, which means I'm playing with fire right now because mental stops end up sometimes you just don't do it. How do you find the Discord? I'm pretty sure it's like the first or second link in the description of the video. If you look at it, yeah, trading Discord, Goonie Discord, free month with code Goonie. And then there's the link. It's the second link in the description of the video. Second link. Come on. Make me this money. Come on. What's a bummer is if I was playing Skynet, I'd already be done on the day. I'd already be up 1.3K if I mimicked it in my own account. But I guess on the other side of it, if Skynet didn't go my way, is it kind of messed up that my first thought here is maybe don't take this profit target? Maybe I just do a trail stop. Is that crazy? Do you guys think I would be completely stupid to do that? Because what if this is a breakout runner? What if this just keeps going, dude? What if? But what if it overshoots that and gets smacked and then I'm pissed off at myself? What is today? Today's Wednesday. Wednesdays are good money-making days. Am I cutting myself off early? Is your boy cutting himself off early? Trail. So it's funny. I look over, the first thing I see, someone saying trail, the other person is saying best to just take profit. I don't know. I'm torn because I could just set a stop loss at like whatever, and I could just try to ride it up. And it's a risk reward thing. Of course, like I'm risking it because what if it pulls back when I could have made it? But what if it doubles up from there? What if we push another 50 points and instead of making 20K today, I make 40K today? Because remember, I'm on the road to $1 million and I'm only halfway there. So every extra $1,000 when like the getting's good, you gotta get it. It's not like it's just like another day. Sometimes when there's easier opportunity, you gotta consider that. Or another argument would be, I could lock this one in, and if I see another trade today, I could get in. Yeah, people always say that, like, don't be greedy, and that's what happens if, like, but then the other one is, oh, you got to be disciplined and follow the trend. So when that whole psychological argument of don't be greedy or disciplined, people always use the opposite one that would have been proper in that discussion. So what I mean by that is, let's say it goes up to 98, and then it shoots past it. The common trading guru retort would be like, no, the trend was in your favor. Ride the trend. The trend is your friend. Get the meat of the move. But let's say I try to hold past that and it goes right up to it and then vomits and I end up losing points. They'll be like, oh, you were too greedy. So in the exact same situation, they use the opposite one to explain why you were wrong. You guys notice about trade, like guru, like retail trading educators? They always use the perfect one of like, okay, was 98 perfect or not? They use it in hindsight bias. They use it after seeing how things play out. And they're like, oh, if it kept going, oh yeah, obviously you got to be disciplined, ride the trend. And then if that would have been the perfect level and it gets rejected, they'd be like, oh, you're being too greedy. Why did you go like for that much money? So the point is you shouldn't be, I guess, changing, what would be the best way to say it? Your opinion on the quality of that trade based on the future information. Like it doesn't make sense. You can only do it like literally based on that real-time information, obviously with no knowledge about like where the charts are about to go. But speaking of that, it actually might be knocking me out here. I don't want to let myself go red. Skynet just cut. Skynet cut. Should I cut? Skynet cut right there. You could see right here, locked in 1,000. Do I want to cut? Uh-oh, Skynet got out. Does your boy get out? Decisions. Skynet pulled the ripcord. I stayed in. Who's better? Me or Skynet? That's going to be the question. Skynet's currently up 1,000 and I am not up anything real. Skynet's up at $5,000 locked in reals, but per account it's $1,000. So Skynet pulled the ripcord. What are we going to do? Do I believe in Skynet or do I believe in the power of hopium and copium? What time is it? It's 10:07. So I survived the 10 a.m. onslaught, which is just always so common right here, the pullback. What do I want to do? We're coming right back up. Did it get smacked? It got smacked pretty hard right there on this breakout. Oh, how do I want to handle this? Uh-oh. We're getting hit harder than anticipated there, team. Shit. I wonder if I should just cut this real quick. Lock in some of these. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous. I'm going to be. All right. Well, first of all, it's actually stupid for me to not have a stop in at this point. So I'm long a sell stop mark. All right. So no matter what, I'm not losing money here. All right. We're taking one aspect of complete degeneracy out of the play. I have a stop in. If it randomly dumps on me when I'm not paying attention, a stop's in. I'm not losing money. Not losing money. If anything, maybe I'll make $80. So we're not going in the red. Not going in the red. Trader Middo, take the L now. I'm up. What L? Is this your first time on the show? I don't take L's.
Order filled.
Skynet's long again. Skynet got back in. Alert the press. Skynet got back in. Skynet sees us going higher. Do I move up the profit target? I can move up the stop loss, no problem. Do I move up the Do I move it? Do I go for 20? Do I see this going all the way up there? Do I see it going all the way up, or do I just want to close it out? Skynet is long again. Skynet was a little bit of a bitch and did not like that pullback that we had. Skynet might be tested here. So my initial profit target was here at 98. To be fair, we have not tested that yet, but I did move up my stop loss. So no matter what, I'm making $200, even if this dives right now, which I very much don't want it to. That would be a bit of a bummer. And it does seem like we're getting smashed a bit. Well, that's super not cool, brother. That's super not cool. Skynet hasn't cut on that. Interesting. I thought that, I mean, that's a bit dramatic for Skynet.
Order filled.
Okay, Skynet just cut. Do I just want to take my money and call it a day? I do have a stop. I'm not being dumb. I have a stop in profit. Don't you worry. I'm not being a complete Dumbo today. And we did not hit my initial profit target of 98. This is where I first had it in. So if we come up to this blue line and it gets smacked there, that's when you know I was, I guess, being dumb. But we actually didn't get there. We got up to 91. I mean, if we bounce off of this, I could just move my stop right up there, and then we're really cooking. Come on, pump it up. Pump it up, folks. Options flow is kind of flat right now. Mag 7 is actually picking up. I'm surprised that we have this dip right now because the options flow is still strong. What are we doing, dude? Does Skynet know something that I don't know is the real question. Oh, Skynet, give us your wisdom. Come on, get back up here. Take out 80. You know what we need to do? Wish you didn't raise it, my brother Matt. Okay, there's a lot of naysayers in the audience right now, and I'm going to be honest. I was trying to be a bit disciplined today, and I was really thinking about moving it back to maybe even now. But now that I see so many fucking people tell me I made the wrong move, the first thing I want to do is show you how I, in fact, don't make the wrong move. All these little chatty Cathys, chat. Like, dude, I can read this market better than you can read a book. Oh, dude, all you babies. Like, I guess I feel like maybe the show you want is maybe some boring ass thing like CNBC. Like, why don't you just go talk to your like mutual fund advisor and good luck making 5% a year? All you fucking babies. Wham. You know what? This is a problem. You know what I see in chat right now from all you fucking crybabies? This is what happens when your parents love you too much. I think I'm getting the sense that you guys all grew up in too much of a stable household. I really am. Like, you guys are, you're not really rock the boat kind of people. And I think this is the major downfall of good parenting, I would say. You know, as much as people like to talk up quality parenting and like be there for your kids and show that you love them and support them, this is the downside of it, is we're getting an entire generation of fucking babies, man. Babies. Dude, I think your biggest downfall was having good parents. I'm going to call it how I see it. You guys are not going to succeed because you grew up in too good of a household. You did. You were surrounded by too much love and caring, and you just don't get it, dude. We're not cut from the same cloth. We really aren't. Unless my mom is listening right now, and if she is, I love you, mommy. I'm sorry for saying that. It was a joke. It was for the show. But if she's not listening, you guys are fucking pussies, dude. A bunch of babies. A bunch of babies. Dude, I was really thinking about maybe moving my target even to 90. But here we are. Oh. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of this right now. I'm not the biggest fan of this right now. Come on, pick back up. Shit. Come on, snap back up. I mean, we're holding that 35 decently. And I do think we drift up to 50, 55. It's just a question of when. Like, what's the pathway going to look like to it? Shit. I have a stop in. Don't worry if it goes against me. I'm going to make some money. But maybe today's just not my day. Come on, turn around. Stop dipping. Not cool. Just go back up. Go back up. Yeah, there we go. Here's what I want to see. Let's take that out. What am I? Okay, my stop's at 43, 20 points away. That's a decent stop. It's an all right stop. Skynet has no position right now. Skynet got out. Skynet's doing better than I am. Skynet locked in $700, but Skynet doesn't know that I am the market. Come on. Come on. Come on, Skynet. Come on, Skynet. Let's go, Skynet. I'm waiting. I'm hoping Skynet goes long again. I don't know why. Maybe I guess it's not a bullish enough for Skynet to do anything here. I'm kind of watching this trend to see if it can take it out. It seems like we might be testing. Should I just double down here? Because then I could lower what I actually need. If I double down here, I probably only need to shoot up to like 405 or something. All right. Remember, this 98 was where my initial profit target is. So we're going to be playing the game. Is Matt following the trend, or is Matt a greedy piece of shit? We're going to be finding out. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. 89 and 11. 89 and 11. All right. Piper. Yes, Piper did fire. Okay. If you're in the Discord.
Order filled.
Oh, Skynet's long again, team. What do we have? Today's the 15th. 89. This is taking me forever to type. My apologies. I'm just doing too much at once. I am the best trader in the entire world. Yes, I am. No one's even close. Warren Buffett's washed up. Yes, he is. Warren Buffett's washed up. Warren Buffett's washed up. Folks, if you know the words, sing along. Warren Buffett's a washed up pussy, pussy. Warren Buffett doesn't know what he's doing. I know you know the song, all right? So, like, don't sit there and act like you don't know this little ditty. We all know the Warren Buffett washed up song. We all know it. We all know it. You guys are going to cry so much. Right here. Right here. Right here. You're like, Matt, you should have taken your money. And I'm still going for it. You guys are going to be eating your words. All the naysayers in chat. All the naysayers in chat. You're going to be so embarrassed. You're going to be so incredibly embarrassed. I feel like I should move my stop up even more aggressively at this point. I've been in this trade for a minute now. Do I do it? All right. I move my stop up even more. I'm going to be more aggressive with my stop because I was more aggressive with the profit target. So I'm kind of past where I initially said. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Pump it up. Pump it up. Pump it up. Pump it up. Come on. Just a quick little pop. A quick little pop. A little pippity pop. A little pippity pop. Are we running into resistance? We kind of are a little. Shoot. There might be an outsized reaction. I'm not a fan of this. It might be getting smacked right at 50 instead of 55. Shoot. Come on, get back up. Don't get smacked. Don't get smacked. Get right back up there. Get back on the horse. Get back on the horse. Come on, you could do it. It's just there's too many babies reacting, taking their profits at 59.50 here. Right there. Just too many absolute massive babies. All these call players getting out way too early because they're not going for it, man. They're a bunch of babies. Look at this. This isn't even my fault. At a certain point, this is just the fact that these other market participants are huge little bitches. Like, oh, I'm going to take my profits. I'm going to lock it in. Dude, these guys don't even understand game theory. If they just held it, if they actually had a set of balls and rode it to real targets, we wouldn't be getting smacked here. But instead, they are giant babies. Look, I'm going to take my profits. We're at 59.50. I need my profits. Dude, I swear. Dude, all these guys at hedge funds right now trading huge positions. And look at, they took it. You could see they collected their money on their calls. They knocked the market down. It happened right at 59.50. It's because right now, they're just huge little babies. Huge little babies. And they ruined the game for the rest of us. I swear. They should have a stock market for people who aren't giant pussies. And then they should have all the other people go to the one that they want. Like, seriously. Like, why do I have to trade in the market with all these other babies? It makes no sense that I am subjugated to the whims of people that have the mental fortitude of a, like, paper straw, dude. It doesn't. I can't believe they do that. Didn't you call this spot out as resistance? Yeah, I did. I did. And it's just because, like, when you do this game enough, you realize that there's a bunch of other babies in this game. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Is it going to give it to me or not? Are we doing this or not? It's just teasing me at this point. At this point, he said huge little babies. That's what they are. They are huge little babies. There's no other way I would have described them. That is spot on. Spot freaking on. Dude, this is not trading for anything today. Are we dropping here? I'm trying to figure out what in the world I'm doing with my life. I don't know if I'm going to get a fill on this, dude. We just went into a period of consolidation. Oops, my bad. Come on, break back out. I should probably just be moving my risk up to this, because if this little range bound like breaks down, there's a chance that I'll flush anyway. Come on, hold yourself together, Marine. Hold yourself together. Is he going to go for me this time? Well, if it doesn't get a fill, it just doesn't get a fill. I've been trying to sell some premium as well, and just stuff is like way too far away. I guess if I get a fill, awesome, but I'm not going to keep chasing it. I'm not going to keep chasing it. Yeah, we are stuck in a huge bout of absolute nothingness right now. Uh-oh, coming back down again. Is it just not going to hold this? Shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. What's going on with the options flow? Options flow. Some call. Actually, SPX is dipping a bit here. Mag 7 is holding, though. Do I just want to get out? Oh, I can't take much more heat than this. And neither can Skynet. Do I just want to close? Do I want to close? Decisions, decisions, decisions. Decisions. All right, I'm giving it like a second to try to recover. Go back to a bullish trend. But SPX, the options were getting hit. People started buying puts, adding negative delta to the system. That's why we had this short-term little hit here. Now, obviously, if call buyers come back in and buy this dip, I might be looking good. Oh, we just switched to a little bullish. We went from bearish to bullish. We're coming back up to where I probably should have taken profits to begin with. Come on. Maybe I move my stop up to here now? Maybe I just keep aggressively moving my stop up every single time we dip? Maybe that's the move. Skynet's currently down. Well, basically break even, but kind of down. Must have gone in. Where did Skynet get in? 95. So Skynet got in right at this recent peak, but it was a while ago. But that's roughly. Ah, dude. I'm not liking this little short-term pattern of lower highs and lower lows. I want a reversal. All I see, though, even the Mag 7 is now dipping a little bit. Okay, this is what happened. Between 10:24 and 10:25, we had 1 minute of people buying puts and selling calls right here. So I'm looking for that to just chill, and I'm looking for the delta to come back up. Now, obviously, this might be a little just like dead cat bounce, and it could get hit again, which is why I'm watching this so closely, because if it starts to come down, I'm just going to cut and call it a day and just be happy with whatever money I have. It's not my fault that there's all these like little freaking babies selling their calls. It is not my fault that there's all these little babies selling their calls, buying puts. Like, they're just party poopers. I'm going to be honest. They're the same person that's just like the lame loser at the party. Like, maybe we should close it down at 9 p.m. I mean, look at them. We're ripping to the upside, and people are buying puts and selling their calls. They just don't know how to have a good time. They really don't know how to have a good time. It's not my fault. Your 2195 first sell stop was best stop. I wasn't whining like baby when I said that. Look at the chart resistance, dude. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. Who's the guy with the aviator hat and the awesome sunglasses right now? Trust me, brother. I don't need some put buying, call selling shill in chat telling me to get out right before it rips. You know what? I'm starting to think that the people in here telling me to get out are the exact same giant fucking babies who bought these puts. The same babies who got out of calls, and you want me in that same loser train with you. I know what you're doing. You're not the people in chat here for my best interest. I know who you are. You're planted shills who fucking did this. You're the giant babies who already got out of your calls. You're the giant babies who are buying these puts trying to end the party for it. I'm not falling for this. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I'm not falling for your bullshit. These little paid shills. How much did Citadel pay you? How much did the market makers pay you to come in and try to get me to do something silly? I knew it. I'm not falling for it. Dude, this weak. You have a weak hand right now, my friend. I'm not falling for this. If any, I might raise my profit target. The fact that you guys are in here so ravishly wanting me to get out of my position tells me that something big's even coming. Even bigger than I could have anticipated. I actually might delete Merc, end my stop loss, and double up my profit target. You guys are so interested in me getting out right now that it feels a little bit suspect. It feels a little bit freaking suspect. Something suspect. I'm on to you guys. I'm watching you. I'm watching real close. I'm watching you guys real close right now. Yeah, I knew it. You guys are just jealous I held my calls. You guys are just jealous I'm riding this to the promised land. Uh-oh. Dude, this has just been so incredibly range-bound. We haven't really gone anywhere since like 10:17. We've been 15 minutes of trying to decide if we're going to get another leg up or if we're breaking down. On like a real note here, literally we're just waiting to see if the range breaks to the upside or to the downside. Obviously, I'm hoping it goes to the upside because that should be a pretty easy target. But right now, it's just super indecisive. We had a price expansion, and then from there, we just don't know. We're literally just waiting. It's probably going to be decided by options. We came up to here. I don't know, dude. I don't know which way we're going, which way we're not going. I don't know which way we're going. Oh, is it going to stop me out? It looks like it. Yeah,
Order filled.
Tagged me. All right, let me delete that.
Order canceled.
Oh, Skynet got out too, actually, on that. So locked in, well, remember I had the 3 messed up accounts, but locked in 750 on each account. So didn't give that much back. Literally enough to tag me out on that. Shoot. What time is it? It's 10:32. Are you guys happy? You happy that all your naysaying convinced people to do this like literally you're getting people to act against their own interests right now. Look at that. What was weird was on that jut to the downside, puts were bought and then quickly sold back, like within a minute. Same thing with these calls. Calls were sold, and then now they're already being bought back. Damn, my stop like literally just tagged me out. Just tagged me out. I can't complain that much, because if it kept going, I would have been like, oh, why didn't I keep my stop there? But honestly, it overshot it by like a point and a half. It happens. It happens. You can't cry that much. Yeah, a little bit of a break down there. It's just because look at all these babies, dude. We just have the index plays trending down starting at 1017. But what's interesting here is the Mag 7 is actually holding. So the bets, particularly for this Friday, are holding well. And then this might just be like a little bit of a midday whatever. A little midday soiree. Honestly, if we don't pull back that far, this might just be another dip to be bought. I'll be watching it. If momentum builds up again, not only in price, but also in options, I guess the Mag 7, a slight drift to the downside. It's more evident in the index. Right here, the index in real time is getting pummeled. People are selling their calls on that breakdown. Basically, you have weak 0 DTE players. This green vomit right here, these green candles, that's people selling their 0 DTE calls, obviously removing positive delta from the system, dropping price. And that's all just because of how the market makers have to hedge. Interesting. Greed equals remorse, not a baby. You're going to be a baby now, whining about how you could have made more. Haha, gamblers win in a casino, but they leave empty for even. That's your character, and I respect it. No, I don't know. It's just the trade. I was already up. I was already in profit, and then I figured why not take the risk to see if there's a continuation. That's a good trade. I made the right decision. Remember, like this is a common thing. I mean, we could see it here, but the quality of a trade has nothing at all to do with the outcome of the trade. It has to do with the decision-making process that was involved in getting into the trade, managing the trade, and then from there, getting out. So if a trade was good or bad should not be on if you made money or lost money or how much money, this or that. It should be based on the decision making. And honestly, throughout that, I very strongly believe that I made the right decisions. I was trading with the trend. We got into a period of consolidation. Generally, obviously not all the time, but generally when you get into a period of consolidation, you break out of that consolidation in the same direction that you came into that consolidation. So obviously we were trading up and up and up. We have 2 days in a row of quality inflation. We had a upper level target right here on SPX of 5955. Obviously it was rejected closer to 51, but we had upper realistic targets based on the options market. It was the right decision, but just because you make the right decision doesn't necessarily mean it's optimal profit. What you're looking to optimize when you're making the right decision is always of a series of trades optimizing your profit, not necessarily on an individual trade. Because no one trade individually should be like the make or break it point. One trade should just be like, oh, that was another trade. And what you're really focusing on is the overall methodology, the overall system. So for the overall methodology, the overall system, that was a good risk to reward. It was a good risk to reward. And I still ended up making $14,000. And right now Skynet is up about $1,000. So everything's green. That's up 14K. That's up another 1,000. So that's up $15,000. And then my options are currently up $12,000. So it's still very obviously the right decision. It's just, I think there's too many people in the retail space that think the good decision is the thing that makes you money. And it will in the long run, but not necessarily per individual trade. So if you're holding yourself to that particular measurement, if that's like how you're doing it, if you're like, no, like I need to make money and that's what a good decision is. No, not necessarily. Sometimes a good decision is cutting a loss before it gets worse. And then sometimes you can make a bad decision by over leveraging and you just get lucky and the market pops. Like I would argue if you went short right there, that was a bad decision because you're fighting what's going on in the EMAs. You're fighting what's going on also in the NQ EMAs. You're fighting the macroeconomic news. You're fighting the general trend of options. So Would you have gotten paid if you just arbitrarily went short back there? Yes, you would have been paid. But once again, it would have been a bad decision. You have to separate your decision-making quality from the outcome of the trade. And I think that's a thing that a lot of retail traders don't do. But in the professional space, that's all they do. It's only just, was that a good decision? Was that a good decision? Was that a good decision? And if in the world of poker, at least, I don't really know about what other worlds would call it, but in the world of poker, if you are, hang on, fuck.
Order filled. Order filled.
I went long and Skynet just went long. What time is it? 10:38. This has to be my last trade of the day. I can't. My edge is going to be lost if I keep trading. All right. Anyway, back to the conversation. In the world of poker, there's a lot of overlaps, and it's common to be like, okay, were you making the right decisions? Because sometimes in poker, you make the wrong decision, but you still win the pot. And in the world of poker, if you are only judging the quality of the decisions you made at like the pre-flop, the flop, the turn, and the river, that type of stuff, and if you're only be like, no, it worked because I made money, it's referred to as resulting, of just basing the quality of the decisions on the result, when like you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that in poker. You can't be doing that in blackjack. You can't be doing that in trading, just because it's an incomplete game. You don't have all the information. So that's why the result and then like the decision associated with it really might as well be two distinct things. They have to be two distinct things. So with it, just be very, like, if you're going through and be like, oh, that's a winning trade, so that was good. That's a losing trade, so that's bad. Like, yeah, of course, from a monetary standpoint, that's like something I'm sure like we all like want to consider, because you want to see your account go up and up and up. But really, the account going up and up and up is a result of making good decision after good decision after good decision. I'm hoping that this was enough of a dip. This pop was enough for me to get back in. It was also enough for Skynet to get back in. Trump's SEC to overhaul crypto policy may freeze enforcement. Okay, if you say so. What I want to see is the options flow. Okay, so right here, I do like this. Maybe I should go back to this one. Maybe. So I got triggered long on this information right here, where puts were getting closed and calls were being purchased. Unfortunately, that trend did not continue for me. So this is what just triggered me long right here, was 0 DTE calls being bought and puts being closed out, obviously adding positive delta to the system. If I switch to this, this is what triggered me to go long, was this swing back in delta. Unfortunately, once again, coming to the aspect of it being an incomplete game, it just dropped right after. So unfortunately, we're still trending down. I was hoping that this was the bottom, and then as you heard Skynet go long, it was getting pretty, oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's a higher low. Maybe I'm going to get a little bit lucky here. Maybe. Maybe. What do I don't know how aggressive I want to be here. Maybe I just do exclusively trend following on this. I could also just set it up and use, I could, if I wanted to, just use the robot exit. I could do a trend following one on this one. I guess that's something more to consider if we break 21,400. I guess those are all, right now I need to be a little bit more careful. I'm probably already trading too much today. I try to keep it less than 2 trades. And actually, is this my second trade? Yeah, I was just in that other trade forever. forever. No. Wait, I had the loss on Skynet. I don't know. This is either my second or my third trade. I forget. But basically just looking for this trend line to actually break out. And really what I'm looking for is for the options delta to continue to pick up. And then on SPX, we might be bouncing once again at this 5935 level, looking for that to be support. But of course, I have to be mindful of the fact that on the 1 minute chart, ever since that 1017 like peak, we do have lower highs and lower lows. So I'll feel much more comfortable about this situation if we take out this recent local high at 5946. So I'm still kind of in the danger zone. Generally, when I throw on the trade, that's the worst situation. That's the max risk, because as it starts to trend in my favor, then I can improve my risk stop. So like this right when I get into the trade is when I need to pay attention the most. And then by the time, if I get fortunate and it does trend in my favor, then I could keep moving my stop up. And if it keeps trending in my favor enough, then I could just move it to at least break even. And then from there, it's like a little bit of a lotto play. So looking for 5946. I'm looking for this 1030 high to ideally switch this trend. There's a bounce on the 1 minute off this 50 EMA. It's a bit choppy in terms of price. It looks like the options market is kind of indecisive right now. It got a good pump, then it got a second good pump, but pump one and pump two, one at 1038, the other one at 1041, there was just no follow through. Skynet's actually about to cut. Fuck, should I cut? Yeah, dude. I mean, if this dips, it could feasibly dip to 514 and that would still be bullish, but I don't want to be caught up in a dip all the way for what, $1.50. That would be quite the movement. Quite the movement. See, Mag 7's not really agreeing with this, even though price is getting hit a little bit. But look, see how options are just flat? The option, granted, there's no buying right now, but also the selling has stopped. So we're kind of like in an awkward no man's land right now. An awkward no man's land. Come on. I'm just looking for this options flow to come right back. Give us that pop. See, there was another little drop right there. We are getting closer and closer to the midday chop session, which is why I hate trading midday. I swear a lot of people your trading would be improved, myself included, if you just don't trade between like 11:30 and 1:30. If you take those 2 hours off, the lunch section is just such BS for day trading. There's too much whipsaw. There's too much mess. I swear your life will be way easier if, like the market, you also take a lunch break. Come on. Pump out of this. Shit. Literally right as I turned to this, it got dumped on. Accounting for everything, Skynet's actually slightly red. My accounts are still slightly in the green. I just want to see a push back up to 85.90 and retest this trend line and see how the market reevaluates there. But the major thing I'm watching is SPX taking out 5946, currently trading at 5939. So about 7 points.
Order filled.
Skynet just got knocked out. Options are not moving though. I didn't cut my position because I wanted to double check options, but Skynet did get cut right here, currently at a loss of 380. Currently at a lot, but I'm confused because look at options are not moving right now. Granted, that's not bullish, but it's also not bearish. Ever since 1020, Mag 7 options have been flat, and then the index bets have been a little bit more wonky, but they've been really flat. I don't know, since like 1040 now. So for the past 10 minutes, like I get that price is drifting, but I'm just letting you know options are not necessarily agreeing with it. I'm not saying that the options are pointing the opposite way. The options are just saying they're just literally no one's really making bets on them. They're just going flat. Just going flat. Obviously, there's a pretty evident downtrend since midday right there. So that might be a nice reversal trade for sometime in the afternoon if you're watching this trend line. I would love for it to happen now. I'm trading too late into the day. I don't know if I should be in this right now. I don't know. Maybe I just take my slight profit on the day and say, see you later, Cowboys. I'm just going to be such a bummer because, like, at some point today, there's just going to be, well, there already was a phenomenal long trade, but I even think this afternoon there's like a phenomenal long trade, and I'm just worried from all the other work I have to do that I'm going to miss it. I really was hoping that it would be coming early this morning, but clearly it is not. It is clearly not. All right, are we coming back? No, it's just I don't see where this is coming from. I mean, yeah, there was a little hit there on the S&P 500 at 948. The Mag 7 is as steady and sturdy as could be. Steady and sturdy. Oh, maybe. I'm thinking I could lock this in right now. It would be a small loss net on the day, and then I could come back in the afternoon. I could always come back in the afternoon here. Is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? Am I really going to let this 12 minutes scare me out? I see it's drifting down, and just on price alone, I'd be like, oh, I don't like that. But what I find fascinating is options are barely moving. This is, okay, so here's what's happening. They're barely moving on the Mag 7, which the earliest bets to this green line is for this Friday. But for the S&P 500, if you go to this, here, let me show you this. Okay, we already have that. They just dumped, and more specifically, I'll give you the detailed view. They sold calls and bought puts. But see, this is the second time today where we've seen this, where they buy puts and then they're quickly like bouncing right back. Like, so there's people leaning into puts, and then either those players or other players are quickly monetizing it. But we've seen it a couple times today where there's like a very, very rapid movement to the downside. People are adding negative delta to the system, and then it like seconds later, it comes right back. Yeah, I mean, this has been getting hit since I keep coming back to 1017 as the switch, and it really has just not stopped since then. Some funky movement on index bets, which are just not at all apparent on the Mag 7. This is like a wildly different situation. Mag 7 popped, flat, maybe a little drift down, and then if you look at the index, just a completely different story. Big pop up until 1017, and then it got hit, it went flat, dead cat bounce, options got smoked again, big recovery. That's where Skynet got tricked in going long. Then it dropped again, flat, dropped again. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute are all bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minutes are all bullish. The question is, how much of this pain can I actually withstand? How do I want to handle this? I'm also trying to contemplate if I just want to put in a stop and a profit target over lunch. I have some things to do over lunch today. I'm not going to be in front of the screens. So that makes it complicated. The fact that I'm here at 10:52 after about 15 minutes of selling. And I'm getting mad because I know, I feel very strongly there's going to be another pump at some point today that my current position would benefit off of. So it almost feels, but then where would I put in my stop just in case there's that, the odd chance that we're off? But the fact that the Mag 7 is holding this strong, I think it's just a matter of time before we strongly reverse and people start buying calls on the SPY again. And then the Mag 7 is going to tick up, and then we're going to be off to the races, and we're going to test this trend line. We're going to break out. We're going to test this trend line and break out. I believe that's the story for the day. But now I'm just thinking about my own time of that. I'm just not going to be in front of the screens. I'm not going to be in front of the screens. I definitely can't double up. That would be stupid. Mag 7, it's holding. It was barely touched, and then yet the S&P 500 was smoked for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I mean, as soon as SPX calls start coming back in, as soon as you see the green start to pop, that's what's going to most likely lead to this test and breakout, That's what I'm looking for. That's the base case. I mean, hell, even on this pop, Skynet's about to go long. Fuck, what should I do? I can't cancel the meeting. That would be inappropriate. All right, so that's not going to happen. I feel like they might understand, right? Are you holding calls? Of course I'm holding calls, dude. Calls are up 12.4K. I'm down 500 right now. I am net ahead on the day, but the current trade is down $450 on 20 accounts. Skynet has no position, currently down net 380. Looks like we are testing this trend line once again. We've had a couple fake out breakouts here. A couple two-tree fake out breakouts. Oh, come on. I'm telling you, the secret to this afternoon pump, is people buying 0DTE calls once again. You need to see this green line pump. If the green line can pump, Skynet's long again. I know, cancel the meeting. That feels rude. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually looking forward to the meeting. I'm just not the biggest fan of the time, and I can't log in. I could have Piper watch the trades for me. She's pretty good. I think she knows where I would want to get in. I want to go out. I would trust Piper with it. Is this going to be 1, 2, 3, 4? Is this going to be our 5th trend line rejection? Our 5th distinct trend line? I'm telling you, folks, be on the alert for this trend line breakout and hold. The SPY's at it now. Look for the Qs. It's just above 516. Tesla's picking up. Microsoft's holding nicely. What's going to tell you that this is about to happen is not only puts being closed, how they are right now, but it's calls being purchased. You want to see that aggression in the short term on calls, really adding positive delta to the system. And then obviously a telltale sign would be SPX breaking 5946. If that happens, look for the test of 5955. If we break out of that, my reach target on the day is 5970. I just want to give you those levels now, just in case they end up happening later today. So feel free to, screenshot it, write it down. But 5946, I believe, leads to a test of not only the intraday high, but 5955 key options level. If that is broken to the upside and hold, my reach bullish target on the day is 5970. Obviously, 5935 is support. At first, it was resistance and support. And then if that does break at some point today, huge support is not only the intraday low, but not far from that is you have 5,900. But this all comes down to, this is what I was telling you, look for 0DTE call buyers to step in. And if that happens, that's when we're looking for this breakout on the SPY. And then it looks like secondary, we're going to have that test of the trend line on the Q. So I'd be watching not only for the calls to come in, I believe that is going to be like the leading thing that leads to it, like the leading indicator, if you will. And then obviously you're just watching this trend line roughly just above 516 on QQQ. Now, that would be a nice setup. That's an easy play. That's a good odds play. Is it a guarantee that it happens? No, obviously not. If some other mess up thing happens, that just means that there's not a nice setup and you just wait. But that's the exact setup I would personally be looking for. And based on my current positions, I'm kind of hoping it happens. Oh, wait. So Skynet went long. Wow. How many times are we getting rejected at this trend line? This is a very short-term trend line, but it is holding very, very well. Just a swift smack in the ass right there. I need more calls to, we had a decent pop on this one little bout of call buying, but there needs to be more. Calls and puts are currently flat. Mag 7 picked up from 1052 until 1046. Picked up nicely. I don't get what's going on with the dip because options are not dipping on this. Options are not dipping on this. Come on, bounce. Look, options. The delta reading almost hit a new intraday high. I'm not liking this mismatch between what options are telling us and what price is telling us. I'm not a fan of this mismatch. How's Apple? Apple's holding well and Microsoft is holding well. So two of the biggest stocks, they're looking fine. NVIDIA actually just hit a new intraday high. So the three biggest stocks in the entire stock market are closer to their intraday high than anything else. This feels like it's just some like midday drift bullshit. Man.
Order filled.
That order filled was Skynet getting out. Skynet took a max like the max unit loss on that one right here on this breakdown. Probably a telltale sign that I should also have gotten out. We're just not seeing this call. Actually, no one's even touching this stuff right now. Why is price being so incredibly dramatic about this? Price has just been bleeding as these options are fine. Something's not adding up here. On the current situation, I still, obviously I'm biased because I have a long position and I also have calls. Like, of course I'm biased, but like just objectively look at this. Price decaying, but options, I don't know where, it just doesn't seem like the edge is being in bearish right now. If anything, I think this is a dip worthwhile to be bought. But like I said, I'm biased because I already have a bullish position on. So take it with a grain of salt. But I think anyone who can read options flow would also understand that this options flow, the bearishness has stopped. It was clearly bearish from 10:30 to about 10:50. There was 20 minutes of the options market getting hit on the S&P 500. Never really occurred on the Mag 7. Never really occurred on the Mag 7. I still think this is getting set up to springboard at some point midday or maybe this afternoon. And obviously I would update my opinion if I see the deltas getting hit again, but I'm not seeing the deltas getting hit again. So I don't know. We're not, look at that. Springboard.
Order filled.
Skynet's long again. Oh, brother. Well, folks, as I alluded to, I do have some things to take care of today, so I need to decide how I'm going to manage it. Pay attention to my Twitter because I'll update you on how I go. Basically, I'm going to let Skynet keep trading, but for my own trades, I will not. This is going to be my final trade. So this particular position of long at 387.25, this is my final one on the day. So obviously I would love for it to be in profit or I'd love to mitigate the losses, but I will update you in tonight's recap video. Every single day we're doing recap videos. So make sure you have notifications on both Rumble and also on YouTube. So I'll update you on Twitter at some point today with it. I'll take a screenshot of the positions. I'll let you know how it goes. And I'll also explain a little bit more in detail of what in the world is going on in tonight's recap video. So pay attention to Twitter and pay attention to the recap video that will come out after market close. Also in that video, I'll be letting you know how the options flow like really structured itself going into the retail sales report tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we will be doing the show once again early just because there's another important report coming out. So tomorrow, early show. Pay attention to the recap video tonight. At some point today on Twitter, I'll let you know how all these positions go. I am slightly underwater right now. Actually, I'm already back to break even. Skynet is underwater on the day. But there's a lot of time left in the day. And I do strongly believe if you see 0DT call buying coming in and we break out those trend lines, I think that's the springboard for maybe another $1 or $2 higher in the SPY and the Qs. So that's the plan. Obviously, CPI report today, bullish, came in cooler than expected. Retail sales on Thursday, tomorrow. January OPEX is on Friday. Market is closed on Monday. Trump's being inaugurated on Monday. Apparently, TikTok's being shut down on Sunday. We have earnings tomorrow. We have TSMC, United Health Group, Morgan Stanley, PNC, and Bank of America. Those are the major ones tomorrow. That's all in the free newsletter if you're on Locals. And then also if you're a premium member, aka a supporter on Locals, that's how you get into the Goonie Trading Discord. Folks, that's pretty much the current state of what's going on right now. I know in the short term, things have been trending down since 1020. I do think it's a bit of a fake out. I think the bulls are still pretty much in control. I would not be looking for a bearish position. I'd be looking for additional low risk bullish positions. That's my own opinion. Do what you think is best. But I would say the underlying data is kind of where it's at. And obviously a shout out to Take Profit Trader, the partner of today's stream. Use that code Goonie, Goonie. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video to get 50% off the lifetime of your accounts. That's what I'm doing all the Skynet trades on. And then also there's no longer any daily loss limit. So I just want to let you know about that. But that's what I have going on. Good luck. Crush the markets. Make a ton of money. I'll see you in the recap video this evening and then in the stream tomorrow morning at 8:20 a.m. ET for the retail sales report. I appreciate all the good vibes. Much love. Peace.